Oh, wow. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Pro Wrestling Throwdown for the week of June 12th, 2022. I'm Caleb Black. This is Luke the Big Dog Williams, along with our in-studio producer, the mighty Max Fury, and of course our in-studio editor, Big Bad John. Check out this bitchin' new layout we have. We've been talking for weeks about how we're going to be able to do graphics, cut-ins, pictures, blah, blah, blah. This is just a taste test of all of our capabilities, and this studio is brought to you by R&R Digital Studio. They're our brand new sponsor. They have updated completely all of our sound equipment, video equipment, everything. So just fucking stay tuned, man, because it is going to be so cool. Also, so big shout out to our first official sponsor, R&R Digital Studio.
We have that big announcement. That big announcement is we now have a merch store.
We have a merch store, baby.
That would be streamlabs.com/pro wrestling throwdown.
That's right. You can check out streamlabs.com/pro wrestling throwdown for all of our brand new Pro Wrestling Throwdown merchandise. We got shirts, we got hats, we got cups, we got backpacks.
Pro Wrestling Throwdown the backpack, Pro Wrestling Throwdown the lunchbox. Pro Wrestling Throwdown.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're gonna put the the link in the chat box right now. There it is.
Volume's really low, he says.
What's really low?
Our volume.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna turn ourselves up here. How's that? Is that a little better? That do it for you? Good afternoon, Bethany. Welcome back to the live stream. All right, so back to what we were saying. Be sure to check out streamlabs.com/pro wrestling throwdown for all the new PWT merch, baby. But before we get to all of that, Luke, how was your Sunday?
It's great. Obviously, new look. We're doing great. You're going to see some new stuff today that's going to... it blew our minds when we see it. We hope you enjoy everything that we're doing.
Like I said, we're just dipping our toes in right now. Wait. Just wait. It's going to get better.
Got much better. Okay, so our sound is much better.
All right. Max Fury.
Why the hell does Bethany only say the Shields? You guys are doing good. Just the hell with the rest of us or what?
Our hard-working crew here.
What the hell?
Hey, man.
Sometimes that happens.
I'm sorry, when you go to a concert, do you think the drummer? Nope.
It depends on the drummer.
Depends on the drummer. Max, speaking of drummers, how was your Sunday, sir?
My Sunday's doing good. I had a really long fucking week, though.
Oh?
Yeah, you remember I was in Nam, right?
Were you in Nam?
Yeah,
he was in Nam. I was there.
Remember? I was taking a trip through the countryside, and I wanted to stop at this diner for food. I was just passing through. And they started giving me a bunch of shit, wouldn't even fucking serve me or nothing. They tried to drop me off, and I walked back to town, and I wound up in this big giant fight. The bottom line is they drew first blood.
Well, they drew first blood in Nam, I guess.
They did this. They did this to him.
He was back home.
Back home. Gotcha. Yeah, he come back home.
Gotcha. And then they drew first blood.
And then they drew first blood. There was a waterfall. There was all kinds of things.
On the other hand, I might have been watching first blood.
That sounds more reasonable, but you know what? We're going to go.
It's very possible.
Big Bad John, how was your Sunday, sir?
Oh, my Sunday is great.
Big Bad John is hard at work. He's the guy behind the camera making all these graphics and everything happen. So make sure you give all of your love and respect over to Big Bad John.
We've got another announcement about a contest that we'll get to after a couple segments.
Yes.
Something very awesome.
Yeah.
To share with you guys. But first, I guess.
Well, before we get to that, we need to make a quick announcement about the upcoming schedule changes.
Yes.
Throughout the rest of the summer, some of our Sunday shows are going to be scheduled later. We will promo everything on our Facebook, our Twitter, all of our social media accounts. That way everybody knows what time to tune in. I've got an obligation coming up with Skyline Theatrics for our summer production, so that's why we're going to be scheduling the changes. Be sure to look out for show dates and everything. We'll promo that later on. But just so you all know, hey, first of all,
I
Caleb
absolutely agree, Rob.
Flat colors, baby. Caleb does the graphics.
Hey, everybody's welcome to come as they are.
That's right.
See what I did? See what I did?
Nice.
Anyway, so yeah, be sure to check out, like I said, we'll keep everybody updated on the schedule changes. We're not going to be missing shows. We're just going to be scheduling later. That means we might even get a fucking Pro Wrestling Throwdown at 11 p.m. You don't know.
One never knows.
Don't ask questions.
We've got Pro Wrestling Throwdown, The Late Show. We've got Pro Wrestling
Throwdown, The Today Show. We're expanding the whole network, kids. All right. it's time to get into the business of what we do here at Pro Wrestling
Don't drink,
Throwdown.
don't smoke.
And yes, obviously, disclaimers, don't drink, don't smoke, but let's talk about Hell in a Cell from last Sunday, and specifically, as you can see on your graphic screen now, this bad mamma jamma that is the grandson of a plumber, Cody fucking Rhodes. Excuse my language, but god damn.
What? It's insane to me that, first off, that he was allowed to go to the ring.
Yeah. Well, so apparently he was the one who absolutely decided that he was doing it, and he's the one who talked Vince into it, and basically laid out the whole. Basically, he dustied Vince.
Yeah, basically.
But what a feat of not only athleticism but genuine toughness. For those of you who don't know, Cody Rhodes wrestled last Sunday in Hell in a Cell with a pec that was completely torn off the bone. Not only did he wrestle a match, he wrestled a Hell in a Cell main event for 35 minutes. And he didn't work the whole match with one arm either. He took damage to the chest. He wrestled his fucking heart out. Now, he is going to be out for surgery up to 9 months, possibly.
I think that's a work
I think
number.
they're working the number.
I believe he'll be back at the Rumble.
The Rumble or Day 1 in Atlanta.
Also could be,
Which
yes.
is a perfect place to bring it back, if not then the Rumble. But either way, let's just talk about how Cody Rhodes solidified his legacy by being the toughest man in pro wrestling.
He really did. Also, the not only the toughest, the realest. Anyone else wouldn't have went to the ring.
No.
They took the fucking L and they just went on about their day. Cody Rhodes is like, hey, it's Hell in the Cell. There's only one Hell in the Cell match.
People paid to see me. People paid to see this.
So we've got to do it. There's no way around it. And then,
put on a stellar
classic
performance and took the W. I mean, how can you have watched all of the AEW detractors who were furious when Cody left, and all the the AEW haters who were furious when he went to WWE, who've talked consistently about how Cody is just a mid-carder who's never going to be over, who's never going to be this, never going to be that. If your opinion hasn't changed, your opinion's wrong.
Yeah.
Because he just, in the eyes of every wrestling fan, became the baddest man in the game right now.
100% agree.
So good.
While we're talking about...
Hey, Jacob Wells got his American Nightmare Cody Rhodes shirt last night.
Attaboy.
At the WWE Live event.
While we're talking about Hell in the Cell, why don't we go to the point count?
Woo! Let's do, baby.
And
Let's
see where we all set after last Sunday's paper.
Okay, so real quick, we'll recap the matches and the calls that we all made, and then we'll do the total point recap. The 2-on-1 handicap match was Bobby Lashley versus Almost an MVP. That was a unanimous decision here across the board for Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley won. No Holds Barred with Madcap Moss versus Baron Corbin. Max, Johnny, and myself chose Madcap Moss. Luke, you chose Baron Corbin, and Luke, you chose wrong.
I didn't think
you chose wrong.
Let me reiterate. I didn't think that we were going to get the good guy win in the first match back. I didn't think that was going to happen.
And you know what? You were wrong.
I was really wrong.
We have the 6-person tag match with AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan taking on the Judgment Day, the team of Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. Unanimous decision for Judgment Day. Judgment Day took the win. Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens. This was a completely split decision here. Max and Luke chose Ezekiel. Johnny and myself chose Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, of course, took the W because I'm always right. Theory against Mustafa Ali. That was a unanimous call for Theory. Theory won. Unanimous decision with Bianca in the triple threat match against Becky and Asuka. Bianca won. And a unanimous call with Cody, with, of course, Cody taking the win. I would like to remind everybody that of the 3 contestants, I am the only one of us to call all 7 matches correctly.
Correct.
Of the 4 competitors, Johnny and I did that collectively together because Johnny's
And here's the deal with that. With the last couple pay-per-views that we've done, Johnny has tied the number 1 pick points, but has yet to get the W.
If he picks one more right than us, remember, if he beats all 3 of us, no points allowed.
No points.
So let's talk about how the points ended up.
Yeah, let's talk about how the points ended up.
Max and I were tied at 18, and Luke was trailing behind by 1 point at 17. Luke is now last place with 22 points.
I would like to point out that last point race, I was also down the first few pay-per-views and come back and ruled ass like Jimmy the King.
It's not going to happen for you this year. This is my year, baby.
Well, I hope Max wins.
Max Fury is in second place at 24 points.
Right.
And with one docket ahead right on the list is your boy, Caleb Black, in first place with 25 points. And Forbidden Door is like 2 weeks away, and I'm going to spank both of these assholes at Forbidden Door too. And ain't King Kong ain't got nothing on me in season 3, baby. All of that rhymed. You're welcome. I'm basically Dr.
Hey, you're
Seuss.
a lyricist. That's what that is.
But yes, so that's
Eminem, move over.
Okay. We wrestle this wasp. She'll make us a blueberry pie. Bring the wasp.
Well, here's the deal. Bring the wasp and make sure I'm far away because I'm deathly allergic. So
yeah, that's where our points lined up this week. I'm in the lead at 25. Max, second place at 24. Luke's in third place at 22. But anything can happen.
Yes.
And honestly, it doesn't matter how much of a lead I get because Royal Rumble season always fucks me anyway. So
all right, let's stay on the Cody Rhodes thing for a second. Let's talk about Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
We will get into other things later, but I think it's very notable that Cody Rhodes come out afterwards.
Cut his farewell promo, basically.
Seth Rollins does the whole fucking him off, basically.
Yeah, well, first Seth Rollins came out and did the babyface thing. You're the toughest guy I've ever been in the ring with. I respect you. No one can say you're not no one can say you don't deserve to be here, blah, 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 and then fucked it.
Yeah. And now, of course, we've written off Cody Rhodes because of the injury.
Cody Rhodes is going to be off, which, not to detract from Monday Night Raw, but that means Cody Rhodes is off TV, CM Punk's off TV, Bryan Danielson's off. Basically, everything that was making wrestling cool right now is no longer happening.
You would think it was WrestleMania season with as many injuries
as there are,
yes.
Also happenings on Raw, we got to talk about Edge.
Yes.
Getting kicked out of the Judgment Day, the faction he started with Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. I always want to call him Punishment Martinez. And was attacked by Finn Balor.
Yeah.
After posing to join the group, now Finn Balor, I assume, is going to be the new leader.
That's where the plans are seeming to go.
What do you think?
I don't like it.
Me either.
I understand Edge not wanting to do the supernatural gimmick.
Could give a shit less what Edge wants. It was one of the most over things on.
Well, it was over, but my thing is that it was Edge's group.
Yeah.
He put it together, and then they were like, we're going supernatural with it. When Edge was like, I don't think we should do that, they take him out of it.
Which they were already leaning towards a very eerie supernatural. I mean, I can understand Edge's, I don't really want to do that thing, but
I think he wanted to, because of the comparisons between him and the House of Black.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to stray away of more being a cult leader than a supernatural figure.
Right.
And I think that, Vince McMahon, there's no Undertaker anymore. You need that.
We got no Gangrels. We got no Visceras. We got no big dark. We got no Canes. We got no Fiends now.
Yeah.
And Vince is all about the theatrical big presentation.
Well, and then you go with the fact that they needed a way to bring back Finn Balor's demon.
Yeah.
It's the perfect way to do it.
Yeah. Finn Balor's also undefeated as the demon still. So that's
also
something
true.
to consider. I don't know. We'll see where they go. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan initially, but, things flesh out, things could change. In fairness, I wasn't a big fan of Judgment Day initially. So maybe Finn Balor will win me over.
So that was pretty much it on Raw.
Yeah, not a whole lot else going on Monday Night Raw. We got a little bit of jabber between some of the women and just nothing big to take home.
Now, in other news this week, though.
Let's talk about big news here in the WWE.
Paige announces on Twitter
that's for me. It's my wallet.
That she's not re-signing with the WWE.
Yeah.
That
she's not being re-signed.
Not being re-signed. Thank you. That she's wanted to thank everybody for the time that she had spent. That she's looking forward to future.
Yeah.
To the future, rather. And if AEW wanted to make an offer, if the money was right, she would totally be interested in going to AEW. She
did say that Vince was really respectable. All parties, involved. It wasn't out of a place of negativity. Vince just isn't going to re-sign her. And frankly, with them short up money and her not being an active part of the roster, it really doesn't make sense to keep her on the payroll. Injury aside, all that stuff. I mean, she's been there for almost 11 years? Between NXT time and here.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen her on TV at all in almost 3 or 4.
She hasn't been on TV since she stood up for her Twitch account.
Yeah, and here's the thing. She's been allowed to keep her Twitch. She's been allowed to keep her social media presence. It's not as though they haven't gone into their pocket a little bit to keep her paid.
Right.
But now it's nut cutting time.
Yeah, and here's the deal. She's been trying to get cleared. She's been trying to get cleared for 2 years. WWE has no interest in clearing her or any spot. Creative don't have anything for you, darling. Sorry.
That's
shame. Basically what they've been told.
She'd have been a perfect fit for the Judgment Day as well.
She really would have.
But
the women's division in general, she would have been great.
And honestly, probably necessary right now with the lack of top women stars they've got.
They'd have to keep her on Raw because she wouldn't be in the
here.
same locker room
Get out of here.
as Xavier. Just saying, him and that one dude were on the same page. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I said it. I fucking said it. I'll write it down. Let me text it. No, I'm kidding. But no, Paige was an asset, a really good one, obviously. You're welcome. No, but she was. She would have been a great asset to even take back to NXT.
On the same page.
For the level up or whatever they're doing now would have been great to have her leadership, first off, and experience in the locker room.
Yeah. Which
they've done here recently with Natty going there, Mandy Rose going there, and now Apollo Crews.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is now on NXT as well as Dolph Ziggler spent some time there as the champ. So they're branching out, but they're not branching out.
Right.
Which is great. There's nothing wrong with the way that they're doing things, in my opinion, when it comes to NXT.
Right.
NXT is where it needs to be.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Paige, it's a shame.
It is, but like I said, she's not... Yes, her social media presence, obviously that there's something to be said about that being an asset, but if you're not on TV and you're not actively wrestling, you're getting paid to sit home while all of these other girls are still on the road. All the other talent, period, they're still on the road, they're still taking the bumps, they're still taking the hits, so I could see why Vince isn't interested in re-signing.
Exactly.
That's just the way it is. The nature of the business, it's not fun friend time all the time.
Right. Let's go outside of the WWE for a moment.
Yep. Let's talk about Juice Robinson getting stripped of the NJPW United States Championship this past week.
Yes. Here's the deal. You have to defend the title.
Yep. And
he has
there. And NJPW still very traditionally follows the 30-day or 60-day champions have to be there to defend
every 60 days.
Especially because their live events are not scattered, they're scheduled, but they're not as closely knit together as, say, WWE and AEW events.
Right.
So when your champion's booked, champions got to go to work.
Correct.
And with them being that traditional mindset, Juice Robinson being out, you're not going to work. We need a United States champion, especially with NJPW coming to Access TV and still doing their Western expansion here in the U.S. Your U.S. champ has to be present. It's a stupid it sucks for Juice.
Yeah, it does.
But who's to say when he comes back and he's healthy, it's not going to be different.
That's how that works. Hold on, we'll keep this graphic up for a few more minutes here.
Yes.
The people are probably noticing. I don't know if you've noticed. There's no chat on the screen. That's fine. You guys have your chat over here, and we can see everything you're doing through over here.
To Rob's point, same as Roman Reigns been WrestleMania. That yes, and while that's accurate, that's the WWE's lapse in enforcing their champion to compete. I mean, Roman sort of gets a pass just because of the nature and level he is at the WWE. Not that he gets a pass because your champion should be defending, but that's not what people are focused on.
I also covered this in a post on Facebook. Roman Reigns was legitimately hurt by Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He has taken an easier schedule.
Yeah.
He's trying to get better and healthy enough because they want to protect him
until
and his health for The Rock at WrestleMania.
Correct.
Also, it's no different than what Brock Lesnar has done for the last 5-6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns is a big-level athlete. Him going to Hollywood, whether wrestling fans like it or not, is good for business.
Yeah.
You promote on The Tonight Show. You promote on The Late Late Show. All of these different facets bring eyes to the product when Roman Reigns goes other places.
They should promote over here on Pro Wrestling Throwdown.
They should. And
speaking of promoting Pro Wrestling Throwdown, if you want to help promote us, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Follow us on Twitter at Pro Wrestling TV. You can send us an email at prowrestling@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out our brand new merch store at streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown for all your Pro Wrestling Throwdown needs.
Also, while you're there, I wanted to bring this up. I'll go ahead and bring it up now. We're going to run a contest. You can now at streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. There is a donate button.
Yes. Anybody who donates anything more than $1 to the channel.
Or a dollar or more.
Yeah.
Your name, there'll be a message box. Write your name in the message box so I can get a hold of you. And at the end of the month, we will do a raffle for people who have donated for the first
ever
Pro Wrestling Throwdown t-shirt supplied by us.
And we'll gear it up just a little bit. For every dollar you donate, that's an entry for your name. So if you donate $10, that's 10 entries. You donate $1, that's one entry. And that's all the way through the month. So if you end up donating $1, for the next 3 weeks, that's 3 entries to get put in the raffle. We'll do the raffle live so everyone can see it.
Yes.
But you win a free T-shirt if you donate to the store.
Yes. And every
month,
the
opportunity to win free T-shirts.
Every month we will do a different raffle for a different merchandise item.
Yep.
We appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. Smash the like button. Tell your friends to subscribe.
Yes,
Let's
please.
Build this.
Big thank you to all of our new subscribers. Last week we started our stream with, I think, at 156. This week we started our stream at 172. So we're inching closer to our 250 mark for the year. Thank you all so much for your participation every week and for your promoting and for your subscribing. It helps us grow the show. And if you donate $1,000, sure, you'll get entered 1,000 times.
If you donate $1,000, I won't even enter you into the thing. I'll just send you a shirt. That's how that works.
Oh, yeah.
Be the most expensive shirt you ever bought.
That's our gold membership.
Right? Also,
you donate $1,000, Luke will go to dinner with you in a dress.
If you subscribe,
I'm kidding, you won't do that.
For new subscribers, we will shout you out. Also, if you donate, we will also give you a shout out during the show.
Yes.
It's community creators. We're trying to do more incentives for people who are subscribers and fans and loyal fans.
Yes.
You guys have been killing it. You guys have been sharing on social media. Also, we have a lot of brothers and content creators such as Fraley Fear.
Such as Mark Ross over at
Joy of Pro Wrestling.
Jacob Wells here, Wrestling on Wheels.
Me and Max were just actually on his podcast yesterday. We appreciated the invite, and we had a really good time.
Yes.
Jacob is very knowledgeable when it comes to pro wrestling, so please go and check him out. Beast Meets Heat.
Check out my boy over at Beast Meets Heat. He takes on all the biggest hot sauce and heat challenges that the internet throws at him. He's a killer content creator. He's fantastic. He's also got an invisible camera guy. Much like our invisible staff here, which is super cool.
Well, we almost invisible. We
hey, you know what, Tanya? We appreciate that too.
That's right. That's right.
Quick ad break before we get on. I want to thank again R&R Digital Studio. R&R Digital Studio is dedicated to updating content creators across the globe. You can get in contact with them through us. Interestingly enough, R&R Digital Studio promises to bring the best presentation. Not the breast presentation. Sorry.
Yeah, buddy.
Freudian slip. Best presentation to all content locally. If you're a small syndicated creator, absolutely check out their work. The dude's a genius. That's how we got up and running here. So big shout out to our sponsor.
Also, I would like to mention, I almost forgot, it isn't up yet, but we have acquired ProWrestlingThrowdown.com. We will have our own
Yes, you
website.
will, FTB. Yes, you will.
So, I mean, we're going to have a website where you can get the merch off there as well.
And we'll link tree the website with all of our social media accounts.
Also, don't forget, down here at the bottom of the screen, you can see we have all of our social media presence right here.
Be sure to check. I didn't plug our TikTok. Find us over on TikTok at Pro Wrestling Throwdown 1.
What was that again?
Pro Wrestling Throwdown 1.
I just wanted to do the thing again.
And so we're expanding the networks. We're expanding the social medias. We're expanding the channel. Shit's getting good over here.
It was one. One.
Not two.
Not two. Slice that in half, but I'm going to put this finger down just because. One. Anyway.
All right, so back over to talking about Juice Robinson getting stripped of the IWGP title. We got to talk about Dominion, which happened just last night at NJPW for those psychos who love to stay up until 5 a.m. watching wrestling.
I wonder who that could be.
A couple of big wins to talk about, not a whole lot. Number one, Jay White defeated Okada in the main event for his third IWGP U.S. Heavyweight Championship.
He sure did.
Or, I'm sorry, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
World Heavyweight Championship,
So Jay White is now repping the New Japan brand as the champion and leader of the Bullet Club.
Yes. Well, and here's the deal. Also, we failed to mention last week that Ace Austin joined the Bullet Club.
Yes, he did. Ace Austin wrestles at Impact primarily. One of their top X Division stars. Was in their light heavyweight tournament here behind a couple of months ago. Incredible talent, and he's only like 25.
Yeah, he's not very old at all.
He's a young guy, killing it. Jeff Cobb and his tag team partner, whose name escapes me, won the IWGP US Heavyweight Tag Team title. IWGP World Heavyweight Tag Team title. I don't know what's stuck on the US thing. It's the Juice Robinson gimmick.
Also, I would like to share outside of NJPW for a second that we have a new NWA World Heavyweight Champion in Trevor Murdoch.
Trevor Murdoch took it back from Matt Cardona.
We also have new NWA Tag Team Champions with the British Bulldog, and I can't think of his partner's name.
Neither can I.
Anyways, they're new Tag Team Champions.
And also, Dexter Loomis competed in the Fatal 4-Way for the NWA
Heavyweight Championship. The world's title.
Was it him, Aldis,
Murdoch?
Cardona, and Murdoch?
Cardona was not. He's injured and had to forfeit the title.
So they were naming a new champion last night. Got it.
Which Trevor Murdoch ended up taking. Congratulations.
Yeah, baby.
Also, in local news, Tony Flood survived the cage match against Adrian Surge and is your new Strictly
Insane Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
So congratulations to you.
Shout out to Tony Flood. He's one of our buddies. Broke into business with him. Got out of the game for a little while. Back in the game now. Had a hell of a match against Adrian Surge. And is now your SMPW Heavyweight Champion. Yep. Also, be on the lookout for some more news dropping. We're going to start promoting next week for the upcoming AFU Hardcore event at Quick Skating Rink in Ann, Illinois, June 30th. Choke Point. Got a lot of great matches. We'll start those promos next week so we can tee in some of the graphics.
Rob Page says, next thing we know, K and L will be introduced as part of the Bloodline. For the one, get it?
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, I got
Thank you very much.
Max is already a part of the Bloodline because if Sami Zayn can get away with it, so can Max.
Jesus Christ.
If Sami Zayn can get away with it, I definitely fucking can. Except for I'd actually win, and I'd actually be in the Bloodline.
All right, so let's move on to SmackDown this past Friday night, baby.
Yeah, SmackDown was actually a really, really enjoyable show.
SmackDown consistently gets it right, man. Consistently. Fox is on them, though, so they got to produce.
And the major story from that breaking is that Walter, as you can see on your screen right now, is the new
Intercontinental Champion, baby. If you don't watch SmackDown and you didn't watch NXT and you didn't follow Walter's European career, he is pound for pound the hardest striker in professional wrestling today, and there is no better person to be the Intercontinental Champion than motherfucking Gunther. The WWE name is Gunther.
Yeah, it will forever be Walter to me.
But Gunther is now your Intercontinental Champion in a hell of a match.
I would like to say congratulations to Ricochet, somebody that we know very well. One time you made more money than Ricochet.
Several times. At one time.
At one point you did.
Yeah.
And you have 2 wins over who?
Chuck Taylor.
Fuck Chuck
However,
Taylor.
they're both on TV and I'm doing a podcast from my garage, so you win some, lose some.
Here's the deal between that, though. They don't get to do what they want, and I have the power to be like, fuck Chuck Taylor. And I can say it, and no one bleeps me. There's no overhead being like, yeah, you can't do that. That's not how you do that on TV. That's
pretty sure if I hadn't said that a couple more times, I'd probably be in his spot.
Well, fuck Chuck Taylor? Well, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But no, Ricochet put on a good show. In my opinion, everyone should have known Walter was going to win the title. The man has trimmed himself down. Can we bring that picture back up, my man?
So, this is something I wanted to talk about, right? Not only him, but Marseilles is the only one left, I think, right now of his original group in NXT. When those guys got their call up, not that they were out of shape by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Walter was not nearly as cut, defined, or tanned as he is now. Same with Marcellus. Is it Marcellus? Marcel.
Yeah.
Both of those guys, when they got the call up, immediately put in the work. They
really
trimmed up. They fucking jacked up. They got their tan on. And they look like $1 million.
Well, speaking of guys from NXT who got the big call up, one that I called on when he came up, Riddle is getting a title shot next week.
Riddle's going to be their new top babyface over on SmackDown.
Friday night on Fox. There it is, right in front of you.
I can't wait.
Now, Riddle's not going to win. But
probably not. They're not going to drop
but
on SmackDown.
They're definitely not giving it away for free, for sure.
The transition with Cody being gone now, they need another top babyface, and especially because they were going to use Cody as a jumping point with Randy anyway. Riddle slips in. He fills that spot for a little bit. It's going to be good, baby. Riddle's also, I'll say it here again. We've covered this. I fucking hated Matt Riddle when he first started wrestling. I was not a fan of the gimmick, wasn't a fan of anything, and he legitimately has won me over.
I am, even though they're probably not going to put Riddle over, I am going to call this as a major fuck up on the WWE's part, so I think this is going to be a pay-per-view worthy match.
I 100% agree.
100%.
We got a comment here real quick from the Joy of Pro Wrestling, our buddy Mark Ross.
All right.
Gunther will have a long, successful reign, I predict. I think they'll treat him right with that title, not like they did to Ricochet. I 100% agree.
Yep.
And if you look at the talent right now on SmackDown, ain't nobody coming close to Gunther.
No.
He'll put on some killer matches, but he'll be champ. He'll be champ until the WWE decides we really want to see Gunther and Lesnar.
Agreed.
And you know what? I really want to see Gunther and Lesnar.
I would also like to, again,
Probably.
if you haven't seen, we have a new merch store.
Still think Max and Zayn might be twins.
It could be. It could be. They're both part of the bloodline. Don't forget to check us out at streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown
for all your Pro Wrestling Throwdown merchandise needs.
Also, don't forget, if you donate.
Yes, if you donate at least $1, your name gets entered into a raffle. We're going to be doing a raffle every month for a T-shirt. Every $1 you donate needs another entry in the raffle. So if you donate $10, you get 10 entries.
Also, don't forget to leave your name in the donation message thing so we know who you are.
A shout out. Real quick, if you're not a subscriber, but you're watching right now, you can't participate in the live chat unless you subscribe. So please, help your boys out. Subscribe. Like that fucking subscribe button. Smash that like button. All the subs and all the likes and everything helps. This whole setup is all being ran and controlled by Big Bad John, our in-studio editor. Words cannot express how much work he's put into it to really level up our presentation here. And the guys over at R&R Digital Studio who brought the technology all together so we could do this. It looks incredible. It feels incredible.
If you're a content creator and you're looking for something like this,
R&R Digital Studio are the guys to reach out to.
You can reach out to us through Pro Wrestling Throwdown on Facebook or email.
We'll give you all the hookups and all the connections you could possibly want.
Yep.
But Big Bad John, without him, this show would not look as good as it does. Without Max, our producer, the show would not flow the way it does. Obviously, with us forefront here.
A little bit more coming next week. So
yeah, it's going to keep updating, keep changing. We're going to be introducing all kinds of stuff. It's a super cool time, man.
Don't see the donate button, but we'll check later.
Okay. I'll work on it.
All right, Big Bad John's going to fix that, and we'll keep promoing that throughout the week and next week as well. All right, so back to SmackDown, talking about Riddle and Roman Reigns.
Okay.
He brought up Sami Zayn. I want to take just a second to talk about Sami Zayn. As much as we'll call it his gimmick, whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Is you like it or you don't, whatever. But the talent of that man. The thing, like him or not, he's up there with the best. He really is.
You want to talk about a guy who was given
Streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Your donate is right here.
Yep, Streamlabs.com/ it's STREAMLABS.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Talk about a guy who was given.
You can also watch the stream there as well.
Weird gimmick that's hard to get over. He got a match with Johnny Knoxville over at WrestleMania. He's been consistently entertaining.
He's one of maybe a handful of guys that, even though he's pushed off to the side like a side character at the time, he's one of the very few guys that doesn't make a mistake very often.
No. And
he really doesn't. He doesn't mess up very much.
If you look at his entire body of work, just in the WWE alone, he had 2 matches of the year, one against Shinsuke, one against Cesaro, went on to be NXT champion, has been numerous time Intercontinental champion, has been tag team champion, has taken the ball and ran with it. Everything they give him, regardless of whether or not we think it's good, he commits to it, and he runs with it. You don't. That's not only talent, because his talent speaks for itself, but the dedication and the ability to take chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad.
Yeah.
Him and Baron Corbin are like the 2 top guys at that. Well, no matter what shitty gimmick they've been given, They're just like, we're going to make this our thing.
Yeah.
And Sami Zayn consistently delivers.
And talking about Baron Corbin, not only is he one of the most despised characters on TV, but he's
one of the most well-liked guy in the locker room.
Yeah.
He's also the reason that you're behind in points because you called the wrong guy.
Well,
I just wanted to remind you.
I bet on talent. I can't help myself. Sometimes talent doesn't get the job done.
That's right.
Just saying. Just saying.
Boy, if I could write a book.
Adrian Surge didn't get the job done.
No.
Just saying.
Tony Flood, SMPW champ, baby. All right, so back on the saddle we go. We're moving on from SmackDown. We're going to hop right on over to Nope, Money in the Bank. Sorry, that's not in my ledger here.
I'm sorry?
That's okay. Money in the Bank was originally scheduled to be at, what stadium?
The MGM Grand, I believe. Now it's
Now they've moved to the MGM Grand.
Oh, from the Allegiant Stadium.
Yes, they were scheduled to be the Allegiant Stadium. Tickets weren't doing super hot, so they moved it over to the MGM Grand, and now the show's almost sold out. So it was a very good call on the WWE's part. Sometimes the stadium shows don't sell, and also AEW runs from one of the hotel stadiums. So WWE did the same thing, followed suit. Not the worst call.
No, not at all.
Not the worst call at all. Money in the Bank is shaping out. We don't know all of the scheduled matches yet for that upcoming event because they haven't all been announced yet, but it is shaping up to be a good show. FTB _unknown_X says #1 podcast in the world.
We appreciate that.
We appreciate that. I'll buy you some V-Bucks later for the endorsement. Rob says, I called all the matches on Hell in a Cell pay-per-view except one, so I win. Actually, I called all 7 correctly, so I win.
He wins.
King of the world. So.
And Johnny also wins.
Also wins.
They're going to share the same sack.
Because Johnny's a smart fucking guy.
But no, Money in the Bank was originally, we'll go ahead and tap into this again.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes was the one that was originally scheduled to win Money in the Bank. But they had their first qualifying match between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre on SmackDown that ended in a no contest, so we still don't know any of the participants.
So let's brainstorm a little bit. We got time. We got a whole show
let's
here.
do it.
If it's not Cody,
no drink, no smoke.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy that wins Money in the Bank and carries it on at least until WrestleMania season or whatever? I'm sure they're going to cash in before that. But who's your pick right now to go up against Roman as the Money in the Bank winner? Because keep in mind, it doesn't necessarily have to be against Roman if they wait to cash in until past WrestleMania.
Well, there's been rumors circulating that Cesaro is planned on signing back with the WWE. It could be him. Could be a Bray Wyatt.
Think of McIntyre?
He's out there. McIntyre, well, he just had the no contest.
That doesn't mean he can't get in the match, though.
That's true.
He'd be a damn good buffer. He can come out and he could win Money in the Bank and come out and be like, I'm cashing in at the UK event.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, he's already the #1 contender for that anyway.
Oh, is he already officially the #1 contender? I thought that was just something.
Now, here we go with it doesn't necessarily have to be any of the field either.
No.
Because a couple years ago, Brock Lesnar won Money in the Bank without actually officially being in the match.
Stupid. But, yes, you're right.
Brock Lesnar is also an option.
That's true. Brock could come back and win it again. I don't know. You think Riddle?
Maybe Riddle. Cody Rhodes could show up at the end of the match when everyone's knocked each other down, climb the ladder, and pull the briefcase down.
That's true. He doesn't have to be active to be the Money in the Bank briefcase holder.
Just because you can't be active doesn't mean you can't hold that briefcase down.
You're right. Brock Lesnar wasn't even in the match, and he got it.
What a coup.
That's an interesting
Also,
thing.
If you're planning on putting the belt eventually on Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins could be your Money in the Bank guy.
A lot of options.
Very, very. Now, how about the women? Who wins women's Money in the Bank?
Rhea Ripley would be my #1 pick just because of the Judgment Day.
Agreed. If Edge is going to be brought back to work Roman, Edge could win Money in the Bank as well.
Yeah. For the women, you can also do Liv Morgan could finally get her big win that she needs. That could be it for her.
Raquel Gonzalez.
Charlotte Flair could make her return.
True.
And take it there and get herself in line for a match at
Bayley
WrestleMania.
is due to return in time.
Bayley's another name. So the women's division is actually shaping up quite nicely with all the planned returns. We just got to get them back on TV for it to flesh out.
Exactly. And here's the deal. She sent that post out that said TikTok Bayley.
Yeah.
Do you bring her at Money in the Bank or do you save her for SummerSlam?
Save her for SummerSlam. She's a big enough star that her return to SummerSlam would make a difference.
It would be huge. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, like you said, Becky Lynch is also another viable
Lynch,
option.
Asuka. You know, the nice thing about the field in WWE is that all the top competitors right now are viable contenders because Ronda's the champion and because Bianca's the champion. You've already got Bianca, or you've already got Becky, you've got Charlotte, you've got Liv, Rhea Ripley. You could do Dana Brooke. I mean, they're not Dana Brooke.
Lacey Evans.
Lacey Evans, yeah.
Here's the deal. You could have a surprise, and Naomi and Sasha Banks could show up.
Could return and win it. One of them could. I mean, there are a lot of possibilities.
There really is.
Once again, still no contact being made. Naomi made her first social media post the other day, non-WWE related. But that's the first social media thing she's posted since she and Sasha Banks walked out.
Can we bring back up that graphic for a second?
Xia Li's a great pick, too.
I want everyone to notice who's on this graphic that hasn't been on TV in a while.
Charlotte Flair.
Well, I was talking about Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
But if you notice, Sasha is climbing the ladder behind all of them.
Oh shit.
Right above Charlotte's head.
I didn't even notice that.
So,
and that's their graphic, right?
Yes, that is the updated graphic except for the Allegiant Stadium.
Okay, we've got Liv Morgan climbing this one. Who's the one? Bailey.
Bailey.
That's Bailey. So Bailey saw. Wow.
There's a lot of wink and nods taking place.
Little inside pool going on over there.
Yeah, but
I play inside pool occasionally.
Getting away with WWE for a moment again. Let's talk about AEW and the Battle Royal.
So the winner of the Battle Royal was Kyle O'Reilly. He went on in the main event to wrestle Jon Moxley.
Yes.
In a great fucking match. Jon Moxley obviously won. Jon Moxley is the AEW main event competitor that's going to go on to Forbidden Door in the main event to wrestle for the AEW Interim World Championship. Back over to NJPW news.
Mm-hmm.
Tanahashi did defeat Goto. So we finally get the long-awaited Tanahashi-Jon Moxley match.
Yes.
But it's going to take place for the Interim World Championship on the American pay-per-view.
Interesting.
Take the money.
Interesting.
Moxley's been calling out Tanahashi in Japan for the last 3 years and has never gotten the opportunity. Now that Punk is out of commission for X period of time and they need a main event to sell the pay-per-view and they need a champion that can viably go on to work their television and their schedule, what better way than to give the fans the payoff, since they're the same fans basically, than Moxley Tanahashi in the main event for the current Interim World Championship.
I see that Rob Page said yes, but Roman's not going to be there, but is he not?
You don't know.
Could that be a swerve? Could Roman pull down the briefcase?
I thought about myself.
Roman wins the briefcase and doesn't have to defend it? Or can lose it and then come out and be like, I can re-challenge for it any time? That's not the worst option to take.
Wouldn't be surprising. Could be an Uso, win it, and be like, this is for Roman.
Ooh.
We won this for you, and then eventually the turn could take place where one of them
Jey Uso cashes in on Roman. I like that. I don't
Very possible. Very possible.
So back to AEW news.
On Dynamite.
Yes.
Again, another triple threat tag match has been booked. Except this time we've got the what are they called? The Jungle Express.
Yes.
Jurassic Express.
Jurassic Express
will defend the tag titles against
the Young Bucks
and the Hardy Boys.
And the Hardy Boys in a ladder match. Gonna happen this Wednesday. Wait, is that on TV this Wednesday or is that at Forbidden Door?
No, that's on TV.
That's what I thought.
That'll be it. I don't remember what they call the show. It's one of their
Fighter Fest specials or whatever it is.
that would be the perfect time for the Hardys to win the tag titles. Well, here's the deal: you get them the tag titles, and then you let the Bucks beat them in a ladder match.
Nope.
It's time to get the belts off of.
I agree, but neither of those teams are the team to do it. You want
to
re-solidify your top tag team as your tag team champions, especially considering they're holding 2 other sets of tag titles. You put them on FTR. Especially considering that FTR is more than likely going to be competing for the IWGP World Tag Titles at Forbidden Door.
Speaking of which, the Forbidden Door, which takes place Sunday, June 26th.
Now check this out, guys. This is something we may be planning. June 26th is a podcast day. So there's a significant possibility that we may end up live streaming the Forbidden Door. We don't know yet. By the way, it's a live watch along. We can't live stream it. We did this with the Rumble last year.
Yes, and actually it was one of our highest rated live streams.
So we'll figure that out over the next couple of weeks once I get the rest of my summer schedule lined out. But very real possibility we'll be doing a live watch along with Forbidden Door in that main event with Moxley and Tanahashi.
Now, with that being said, Caleb, there was a little change at NJPW this week. Why don't you fill them in?
Jay White is, well, we already talked about it. Jay White's the new, we talked about it before. Jay White, IWGP World Champion.
Right, but what did he do on Twitter?
So Adam Page, as we know, last week, Adam Page called out Tanahashi.
Yes.
For a shot at Tanahashi, not necessarily for the Okada. Called out Okada, not necessarily for a shot at the title, but called him out for a match. And now that Jay White has defeated Okada, Jay White went to Twitter and was like, Page can still have Okada because he's never going to get a shot at the NJPW World Championship as long as he's champion.
So, are we going to build for Okada? Or is there going to be some kind of rigmarole to where Adam Page challenges for the NJPW Heavyweight Championship?
If they did it the way that I would do it, and that's not to say they will, they still have Page and Okada, but they make that a number one contenders match for a shot at Jay White at an upcoming NJPW pay-per-view to get the payback for the Forbidden Door.
That actually makes a
Then you're taking AEW, one of AEW's top stars, former champions. If Page beats Okada, which he more than likely will here in America, take him to Japan, then they can promo the fact that he's getting ready to go and wrestle for that belt. You can do more work with AEW and NJPW on TV, and you put Adam Page back in a main event light to keep him hot in case we decide to go back to the well against, say, Moxley when he's interim champ.
Correct.
That's what I would do. That's the way they should do it. I don't know.
Will they?
Probably not. What'll happen is they'll have Page. We'll know this week if they change it, but I still think it's going to be Page and Okada. However, that's not to say that I wouldn't fucking love Page and Jay White for the IWGP World Title at Forbidden Door.
Well,
I would enjoy the hell out of it.
They probably will change it. But the shitty part is they ain't going to give us credit.
You know how many of our ideas they take?
I know.
Rob Page says another on my mind is CM Punk relinquished title or did they remedy that?
So CM Punk is still the AEW World Champion until he returns to TV. However, in his absence, they are naming an interim World Champion. We've seen this done before. The WWE's done it a couple of times with the Intercontinental title.
Shawn Michaels and Razor
Ramon's a good example. The UFC does it all the time if one of their champions gets injured. There's precedent for it. It's an interesting thing, but basically, Moxley is the projected AEW winner for Forbidden Door. Mox is going to be their world champ on TV if he wins, and then when Punk returns, they'll unify those belts. So they'll get into a whole thing between Mox and Punk about who the real world champion is.
Also, you're going to get a little touch on the Jericho Punk thing where he can be like, hey, John Moxley, it's good that you cleaned yourself up and stuff, but you shouldn't have done that in the first place because you should live your life like CM Punk.
Right.
You should be straight edge, and we can get into that Jericho, your daddy was an alcoholic thing.
Yeah.
And switch it with those two.
I heard Zack Sabre Jr. called out Danielson for Forbidden Door. That's dream match there. He did, but we don't know when Danielson was going to return from injury.
Also, jumping back to Dynamite, or Rampage rather, Will Ospreay had a 6-man tag with him and his tag team partners against Trent and FTR.
I've gone on record for saying this. I hate Bill Osby. I don't like him personally. Not a fan of his wrestling style. However, he is one of NJPW's top stars. Him being AEW does nothing for me personally, but I can absolutely see what it brings to the table.
Correct.
That being said, if you're going to do something with Ospreay at Forbidden Door, it should be a singles match, I would think.
You would think so, but who?
It'd have to be somebody else that can move the way he does to get that high intensity competitive match. If I had my choice, I'd make it the youngest brother from Zero Gravity who's not hurt. Whose name
Dante Martin. Yes. Max.
Wait. Is that Dante Martin or is Dante Martin part of the Acclaimed?
No, I believe.
Okay, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Either way, Ospreay versus somebody who can flip, flop, and fly.
Of course.
Honestly, I wouldn't hate Ospreay and Pac.
Ooh.
Ospreay and Pac could be a fucking spectacle.
Buddy Matthews.
Buddy Matthews is another one we talk about. Well, we are going to talk about
Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, Ooh, that's a good one.
Ray Phoenix and Ospreay would be entertaining.
Okay. I'd be on the boat with Ospreay if they booked him and Rey Fenix. I would absolutely be on the boat. Good call.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
That's the only match that you could convince me that I would enjoy with Will Ospreay in it.
Right? Unless Ricochet just happened to jump ship. But yeah. But no, I think that the pay-per-view is gonna be a success.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that the States haven't seen since Worlds Collide back when it was WCW and AAA.
Yes.
Which was a fantastic
Incredible.
show. Or even the Collision course that took place in Japan.
Yeah.
For Starrcade '93.
Yeah. You've also got the AWA NWA Super Show that they did in, what was it, 89 or 90?
Well, and All Out, or the first All
First
In.
All In was an amalgam show.
Yeah. It wasn't one brand putting it on. It was several.
Sponsored by Ring of Honor, but not exclusive to Ring of Honor talent.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Would like to shill our social media again?
Yeah, real quick before we get on to talking about the next segment of the show here, don't forget to find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Follow us on Twitter at Pro Wrestling TD. Send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com. Follow us on TikTok at Pro Wrestling Throwdown 1. Also, check out our new merch store over at streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. If you donate $1 for every dollar you donate, you get entered into a monthly raffle. This month, we're going to be raffling off a t-shirt. So if you donate $1, name goes in once. You donate $10, goes in 10 times. Donate $1,000, you get a shirt. Luke kiss you on the mouth.
I will. Tongue and all.
No. But yeah, so check out that. Make sure you like
that
and subscribe. Smash that like button. If you're not a subscriber, you cannot participate in the live chat. So be sure to do some of that for us. Helps us grow the show. Thank you to all of our new subscribers this week. We hit 172 today. Our projected goal for this year was 250. We're more than halfway there.
Halfway.
So keep on pimping
on.
Keep on keeping it. Keep on fucking. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Also, remember, if you're watching
fuck that. Come on. Sorry.
See how I did that? Not drop my glasses? Also, thank you for the likes and the subscriptions.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
And the prescriptions.
And the prescriptions for things we won't talk about. Anyway, also, to jump on top of that as well, if you are watching right now and you can't join the chat, which you'll see on the screen, there's only one way you can do that, and that is to subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button. You can chat along with everyone in the chat box, all our community of pro wrestlingites, pro wrestling throwdownites.
We'll have to come up with something.
Throwdowners?
No, I don't like. We'll come up with a
Put
name.
Put some ideas in the chat.
That's actually would be great for you guys. Help us name our Pro Wrestling Throwdown universe. That sounds like something you catch.
That sounds like something you catch. That you keep that shit forever like luggage.
That's right.
Anyway, so announced on Dynamite.
Yes. AEW is getting a new championship. Another title.
Now we're going to leave this graphic up for a second to talk about it. We had our first
qualifying match this past week between Buddy Matthews and Pac. If you didn't watch it, you missed out.
Yes.
Because it was so fucking good. So good. The obvious winner going off that was Pac.
Yes.
In our next week's bracket, we have Ethan Page taking on Miro. We've got Penta Oscuro versus Malachi Black. And the last two brackets haven't not been filled yet.
No, will be from New Japan's bracket as well.
So the All Atlantic Championship?
The All Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. Now, while I say this, and I do, we don't need more titles.
No.
However, if this title can be defended on NJPW programming overseas,
then I can understand the appeal and I can understand why they would have it.
Which is why I think the 2 members bracket is going to take place. Because obviously, NJPW is not going to win the AEW Heavyweight Championship.
No.
It's not going to happen.
No.
So to have somebody win from over there on the Forbidden Door is a giant plus.
And can make the dates back and forth. It's better for her. That I can understand. I just... World title, women's title, TNT title, TBS title, tag titles, an upcoming 6-man title, and now this... That's a lot of belts. Not to mention all of the Ring of Honor titles are under the AEW banner right now.
Rob Page, I am also agreeing with you. I want to see Ethan Page win because I am a giant fan of Ethan Page.
I love Ethan Page, but in this tournament, if I had to pick somebody to put that fucking belt on, it's got to be Pac, right?
Wolfie has joined us.
It's got to be the bastard.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility.
Hey, what up, Wolfie? It's all right, man. You made it just in time.
You
Show's
missed some
still going on.
announcements,
We're having a
but-
great show, but we'll be recapping all the announcements throughout the show anyway. Welcome to the stream.
Yes, welcome.
It's got to be Pac for me, man. Got to be Pac. He's an international asset already. You can send him overseas. People will watch his matches, the style he wrestles. He's been there since day one. He's had some of the top matches in the company. Put it on Pac. Get that return. Also,
Do you think Ospreay is one of those members? And
I
we will
do
get Pac
think-
and Ospreay at the
I
end?
do think that it's going to be Ospreay in that bracket, and the main event will probably come down between Bill Osby and Bastard Pac.
It actually makes sense.
It does. It makes perfect sense. That's why I
Yeah.
said if you got to
Yeah.
have that match, do we need another belt?
Well, like I said, if it's defended overseas, yes.
Okay, but real quick, we talked about last week about how many championships are under the WWE banner. They got 3 world champions. They've got 3 second-tier champions. They've got 5 different sets of tag team champions. They've got the Cruiserweight champion. They've got the 24/7 champion. All that aside, right? That's how many are just going on over there. And
Actually, the Cruiserweight title was abolished.
combined with the All-American title.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 world titles, 3 second-tier titles, 3 sets of men's tag team titles, 2 sets of women's tag team titles, and a 24/7 title.
Hey, clarify that for Rob. Talking about X-Pac.
No, you watch it. We're talking about the Bastard Pac. Formerly Neville,
Yeah.
but he was Pac first, and he is the baddest mamma jamma on the planet. The man that gravity forgot. But if you look at AEW's landscape right now, men's title, women's title, second-tier men's title, second-tier women's title, and a set of tag team titles. Also, all of the Ring of Honor titles. So that's your pure title, your TV title, your tag titles, and your world championship, and your women's championship, all under that banner. And I think they've even got one more. Now
They
we're
defend the
introducing
AAA tag titles as well.
AAA tag titles are under their are being held by FTR, so those belts get work. They've had their AAA world champion when Kenny Omega was the world champ on their show, and their other I think Johnny Dynamite is the current reigning AAA world champion.
Yes.
So all of those titles, that's another 12, 13 belts under one show, one company, and now we're getting another one. Not that I'm saying the All-Atlantic title isn't going to be awesome, and it will be, especially if they defend it back and forth, but why do I not see more out of the TBS and TNT titles then,
Correct.
instead of introducing a new one? Why do I not see more out of the world title aside? Even then, you've got all of these other Ring of Honor titles. Well, why not fucking more out of the Ring of Honor belts? Instead of making a new one, use what we got instead. Now we've got 13 belts plus a new one, plus a set of trios tag titles that are going to be introduced at some point.
Also, I would like to point out
Everybody gets a belt.
Somebody made an argument for the Owen Hart title belts. Those aren't belts; they're trophies.
Yeah, those are trophies.
If you're counting trophies, then you would have to count the
MJF's
crown.
ring.
The crown for the King of the Ring.
Yep.
Because Corbin lost it to Nakamura.
MJF's ring.
I mean, there's several things you would have to count.
Yeah.
The women's tag team tournament winners last year in AEW.
The NXT tournaments they do every year, the Cruiserweight Classic, the
Dusty
Dusty Road, the Dusty Classic, the Mae Young Invitational, all those. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's always belts, 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 belts. You know, when wrestling was super cool in the United States, when you had 2 world champions that worked for completely different companies over the span of 7 hours of programming.
Agreed.
You had one WWF champion, you had one WCW champion. Now, if you want to dial that back to the territory days, yes, each territory had their own main champ. But the real world champion was the NWA World Champion.
They weren't world championships.
No, they were promotional champions.
Yeah.
But you had one world champion working 22 territories. Come on, man.
I still want to
Too many
see the
belts.
Cruiserweight return
I'm
of all
down.
the others. I agree.
I'd be fine with
I
that.
strongly agree.
Or be smart. Somebody work with Impact. X
I
Division.
want X-Pac to come back and wrestle Riddle.
That'd be a damn good match.
I would love X-Pac and
Be a
Riddle.
lot
That
of fun.
actually has happened.
That,
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun on TV.
You know where you can find that, I believe?
Probably YouTube.
IW.TV.
Oh, IWTV. Yeah, check us out.
Uh,
Hey, check out IWTV with AFU Hardcore, too.
Yeah, I was bad. Thank you for that. You
You're
beat
welcome.
me to it because
You're
I was
welcome.
about to say while you're there,
You're welcome.
you can go see our body
right.
work there as well.
We're on that show.
Where else can you see us, Caleb?
You can see us on Facebook at facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. You can follow us on Twitter at Pro Wrestling TV. You can send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com. You can follow us on TikTok at Pro Wrestling Throwdown 1. You can also check us out over at streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown, which is where you will also find our brand new merch store. If you donate to Streamlabs, our account you get entered into a raffle at the end of the month, or a t-shirt. Every dollar means your name gets entered that many times, so be sure to donate. If you want to crack at a free shirt and support our channel. Don't forget to check out our cross-branded networks of podcasts. That's Wrestling with Wheels for Jacob Wells, The Joy of Pro Wrestling with Mark Ross, Fraley Fear over on YouTube, Beast Meets Heat. That's our extended network here.
And don't forget to tell your friends everywhere you
Yes.
go. Tell everyone about
Tell
it.
everyone all of your business all the time. No. Also, if you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to smash that like button. Every subscription, every like helps us out.
I drop business cards at the grocery store when I leave.
That's not the worst idea. So, I believe we've covered the spectrum of news and wrestling's goings-ons.
So I
believe it's that time. I believe
Is
it's
it?
time for birthdays.
and bullshit.
Max, take it away.
All right. We got a couple memorials first. You're gonna have to tell me when you're.
We're already there. It's already there.
Okay. Mine's behind. We've got the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
That's not the Macho.
I'm sorry, no. Ultimate Warrior.
There you go.
Yes. There you go.
See, I can't see it yet.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
got
just
you.
trying to find my notes here. The Ultimate Warrior, 1959-2014.
15.
14.
The graphic is wrong then.
Oh, well, I was a typo. My mistake.
Passed away the
2014.
day after.
WrestleMania.
That's right.
Well, no, the day after the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah,
He
that's right.
passed away. He got inducted in the Hall of Fame, got his return speech with the WWE. The next night on Monday Night Raw, came out and cut an incredible promo about how happy he was to be working and being considered part of the company again. The next day, passed away.
Rob says that your shirt is, how do I put this? Lame.
Well, it is. Mostly because Caleb's wearing it.
First of all, Captain, I always wear either a flat black shirt or occasionally a different colored flat shirt. I don't wear shirts with graphics on them.
Maybe they're always like
I only own 3 shirts with graphics on them, and they were all Jim Cornette shirts.
Of course they are. Of course they
Well,
are.
no, I've also got the We Weren't There WrestleMania t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't have a lot of graphic shirts. I don't buy band shirts. I don't wear that shit. I bought the Cornette shirts because I support Cornette. And they were birthday. Well, they were actually all birthday gifts.
Yes.
So,
All right, go ahead and go with the next in memoriam.
All right, next we have Bruiser Brody, 1946-1988.
people don't appreciate how good Bruiser Brody was.
If Bruiser Brody was alive in today's professional wrestling in the deathmatch arenas, he'd be the most feared man as he was then.
Boy, you ain't punishing shit, old man.
As he was then, he was one of the craziest gimmicks because people legitimately thought he was out of his mind.
For those of you unaware, he was
Murdered.
by another wrestler in Puerto Rico.
The promoter.
Yeah. Stabbed in the locker room after a show.
Mm-hmm.
And
He
that's how he
the
died.
bile it hit him directly in, I want to say, the
Was that what inspired Spider-Man? Like with robbery? You tried to stop it?
sometimes I don't.
So
like
Pro
your
Wrestling
face.
Throwdown is going to be looking for a new in-studio producer. No. Brody, my recommendation for anybody who wants to learn more about Bruiser Brody's body of work, watch his matches with, oh my God, not Giant Baba, not Jumbo Tsuruta, Inoki. Watch his matches with Inoki from Japan and Pacific Midwest Wrestling. Some of the best matches. Inoki, the matches that Inoki had with Bruiser Brody tell you everything you need to know about what a professional wrestler needs to look like facially when they get in a ring. Because every time they were in a ring, it looked like they fucking hated each other. They had serious, hard-hitting matches, and they were incredible. Inoki Brody, all day.
Fantastic. So we're going to get into birthdays before we get into the next slide. Because I believe the next slides are for something else, correct, Max?
Yes. Yes. We're going to go through the birthdays, and I'm pretty sure we know who everybody is, so we're not going to take the time. In the future, we'll get some more up.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is our first trial run with all this. We're just going to do a few.
All right.
All right, I'm going to beat you.
No, you're not.
So,
Our birthday list is pretty good. We're going to start out
You
with,
won last week, didn't you?
yes, I did.
Well, every dog gets a bone.
today.
Literally.
Give the dog a bone.
Today we have Mark Henry and Jerry Lynn.
Okay, first of all, World's Strongest Man, Mark Henry. You can listen to him on Sirius XM, their wrestling show
He
hosted by
doesn't
Dave.
promote us.
I'm going to promote them because I listen to that show every day. If you're a Sirius XM subscriber or you've been thinking about wanting to expand your pro wrestling knowledge, they've got a show on Sirius XM satellite radio called Busted Open, hosted by David LaGreca. His co-hosts are all legitimate Hall of Famers and current superstars. His Monday and Tuesday co-host is Bully Ray Dudley. His Wednesday and Thursday sometimes co-host is Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
Mark Henry comes in on the weekends. And they just added Thunder Rosa as their female co-host on Friday. But Mark Henry has some incredible takes. Listen to that show. It's my favorite wrestling show, even outside of all the other podcasts I listen to. And I could literally open up my Google Podcasts and show you guys that it's all filled with wrestling podcasts all the time.
And I'm going to say 52 years old. No drink, no smoke.
I'm gonna say 48. I think he's a little younger.
How about 51? Hey, let's get
Got him.
Good one.
And Jerry Lynn.
Jerry Lynn. He's up there too.
55.
54.
How about 59?
Wow.
Got him.
Didn't realize he was that old.
Yeah.
Wow. Who else is that?
Holy
That's
shit.
right, baby.
There you
Daddy's
go.
on fire today.
Tomorrow, the 13th, we will have Virgil,
Oh,
And-
God.
Headbanger Thrash.
Real quick, I have to reopen this. Virgil is suffering right now with an illness, so we do send our best regards to Virgil.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Even though he is sort of the laughing stock of the pro wrestling community, we do
I'm
want to
gonna
send our
say
best regards.
Virgil is
He's got to be pushing over 60 by now.
62.
I was going to say 63, just for...
How about 60, no point?
Oh,
just
wow,
turned
a little
60.
younger then.
Yeah.
Mhm, good for Virgil.
You know what to say about money.
And we have
Right.
Headbanger Thrash.
Thrash was not Chaz. Thrash was the other one.
Thank you for that.
Thrash
I was throwing it out there for
Yeah,
everybody at TV land.
He's got to be up there because he's part of... I'm going to say 63.
I'm gonna go 62.
How about 53?
Wow. A liar.
Man,
10
I'm really
years younger.
sucking at
That
this
means...
today.
Hold on. That means when the Headbangers were being featured over in Smoky Mountain and in their early features of the WWF, they had to be early 20s?
Yeah.
Early
John,
20s.
you're late. We've already mentioned it 3 different times.
Yes, Tony Flood is the SMPW Heavyweight Champion. We are so proud. We're so happy for him. You're our boy. Okay, back to the game here.
The 14th, we'll have Peter Avalon.
Okay,
Oh,
he's
God.
young. He's young.
Benoni?
36?
34.
How about 36 on the nose? That's 3 for Caleb.
Ah! And
Uh,
Caesar Bonini.
What?
Yeah.
What I said, okay.
It-
I wasn't really sure.
Yeah.
His birthday
I couldn't
as
even
well,
fucking-
because he's his tag team partner.
Yeah.
32. He's not old.
No, 33, I guess.
Wikipedia had them listed the same.
36.
Oh, they're both the same age. Okay,
So you were closer.
gotcha.
But
Point Caleb.
I actually didn't know that was 2 different people. The way Wikipedia had
Yes.
had them listed together.
Yes,
Yeah,
they are
yeah.
different people.
Okay. That's what I thought. On the 15th, we'll have Scott Norton.
Ooh! Scott Norton, the only man that could take Icy Hot to the eyes and still not lose an arm wrestling contest in Japan to Chris Jericho. That is an actual road story from A Lion's Tale, his Jericho's autobiography. He rubbed Icy Hot in Scott Norton's eyes to try to win an arm wrestling contest. and
Real
still
quick,
lost.
I
Yeah.
still got the point, but Caesar Bonini's actually 35. So he's 1 year younger than...
Still got the point.
Correct.
Did you account for that? His birthday hasn't come yet.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the 15th.
Advance.
So
That's
I
right.
still got it right, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That,
Good
that-
point.
yeah. All of these are upcoming.
Yeah, because
okay.
it's the 15th and it's the 12th now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Also, that's a very good thing to point out to the audience.
Work.
A lot of these birthdays are in
Yes.
advance.
We went to Six Flags instead, had more fun in that show. No, we did not go to the W. I don't. If
No,
I'm
but
gonna-
you know what? If you want to recap, there's Wrestling with Wheels on Facebook, and Jacob Wells
Yep,
was
he went. Yep. All right, moving on.
Scott Norton.
He's older because he's part of the golden era.
65.
66.
61.
Wow.
Maybe he's in his 60s.
Good for Scott Norton.
Also on the 15th.
Still looks fucking good, too.
Mm-hmm.
Also on the 15th, we have Chuck Palumbo. Not the detective.
I have such a love-hate relationship with Chuck Palumbo.
Not the detective.
He's older. He was WCW.
Tag team champion.
So he's got to be...
I'm going to say 60. No, wrong. I'm going to say 56.
See, I'm thinking he's in his 50s still.
56.
57, just for...
No, 51.
Wow. Of course, they were young. They were considered part of the new blood, so that makes
but
sense.
even then, when he was on Smackdown in 04-05, that means that his tenure in WCW, he had to be all of 22, 23?
John, we've
Jesus.
already covered the Jay White as well.
Yep, we talked about that. You're late, baby.
Just recap, man.
Hold on. Jay White didn't have a pipe bomb about AEW. He had a pipe bomb about Adam Page.
Yes.
That I saw. Now, if he said something about AEW, feel free to recap and we'll talk about it. But I saw him talking about Adam Page and not AEW.
Yes.
All right, last one on the 15th. I can't wait for her return. Bayley.
Bayley, 35 years old.
34.
33.
Ooh! So you're telling me there's a chance.
It's only a year between us.
Max loves you.
There's a year and a couple million, but I
He
promise
doesn't know where you live or anything.
I'm not good at making... Well, never mind. I'm not sure what to say.
On the 16th, we of course will remember the Ultimate Warrior.
Yep.
And then Sandman. I have a birthday.
Oh, he's up there.
63.
61.
What did you say?
61.
How about 51?
Wow. He looks terrible. Looks
Yeah.
fucking terrible for his age.
Yeah. Also, Jungle
Wait a
Boy.
minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. 97 was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So that means when Sandman was at the top of ECW, he was 26 years old.
All right.
Fucking ridiculous.
That's insane. He looks terrible. for his age.
Ridiculous. Well, of course, we talked about before how when Austin was in his heyday, Austin was only like 29 and 30
Yeah.
at the start of the Austin rise. So I guess that makes sense. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I would have.
They were all so young. I'm not too old to do this again. No, I'm too old.
Then we have straight from the jungles of, I don't know, Ohio, probably. Jungle Boy.
The wilds of Idaho.
Jungle Boy?
Jungle Boy Jack Perry's 28 years old.
27 years old.
Jungle Boy is will be 25 years old.
Yeah, I knew he was young.
Uh-huh.
Which makes
Wait
him
a second.
one of the youngest champions?
Wait a second. I thought he was older than MJF. And MJF just turned 25.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
Good for Jungle Boy.
Hell yeah. A lot of Hey, Jungle Boy is somebody to watch.
He is. He's going to be a top star in the business.
He really is. And, I mean, his daddy was a hell of an actor.
He's going to be the next Shawn Michaels if people are actually watching.
His dad was Luke Perry.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Before they changed him to just Jungle Boy, he was Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah. His dad was fully supportive in his wrestling career.
That's going to make me watch him a little bit more.
Yeah.
Also, a fun story about Jack Perry. The night that Nick Gage stuck the light bulb into David Arquette's throat, and he finished the match where he was bleeding out the neck, Jungle Boy and Luke Perry are who drove him to the hospital.
Huh. Mm-hmm.
Yep, they're best friends.
Interesting.
Yep.
See, on the 17th,
Off by one on Jungle Boy.
Damn.
we have
That means the four pillars over there really are like
The four pillars.
the youngest fucking guys in AEW.
Yeah.
Caleb's going to correct me on this one. 17th, Minoru Suzuki.
Minoru Suzuki, but you were close.
Damn close.
Minoru Suzuki is 62 years old.
62 years old.
He'd be 54 years old.
Wow.
Point, Luke?
No, we both
No, we
said
both
62.
said 62.
Yeah, he's only... No, hold on. I knew he was only in his 50s. Because we had this whole conversation a couple of weeks ago about how when they talked about... When they were calling guys too old... Like when they were talking about how Hogan was too old in 99, Hogan was only like in his 40s then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did know that.
Yeah.
I just took the wrong guess. That's okay.
Me too.
No point. By the way. Hey, Friendly Fear made it.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. To recap, we're going here real quick. John Wagner asks, have you guys heard whether or not Bull Bronson and Brian Richards won their tag match or not? I don't know. Let me
I
ask
have
him.
not heard anything about that yet.
Why don't you read this?
Fraley Fear says, dang it, I'm late, but at least I made it. Zack Sabre Jr. and Danielson at Forbidden Door, let's go. I'm down. I am totally down. It's one of those things that's a dream match for a lot of people.
If Danielson's healthy and ready, yes. Which they said he might only be out a couple of weeks. So obviously that'd be perfect. And yes, Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson would be awesome.
Also,
however, I'm not on the train of the guys who thinks that Zack Sabre Jr. is the best technical wrestler in the world. He's
I don't
not.
either. I don't
He's
think
not.
that either.
And I know that a lot of people say that all the time, and he gets all that camaraderie and commemorandum from NJPW about it. Zack Sabre Jr., in my opinion, is not the best technical professional wrestler in the world right now. Josh Alexander is the best technical professional wrestler in the world. Y'all can argue about it. Whatever. Either way, Fraley, yes, Sabre Jr. and Danielson will fuck.
I'm also would like to take a second and state, if you have not joined the Friends of Fear here on YouTube, find Fraley Fear on YouTube and check out his content, because his content is not only thought-provoking, it's entertaining and a little creepy, and I'm kind of into all of that. So, Fraley Fear on Facebook, on Facebook as well, but here on YouTube, find his channel. It's amazing stuff. Also, if you're looking for stuff to do, we have a merch store now.
Woo!
Streamlabs.com/pro-wrestling.
Give us your money. Sorry.
If you donate on the page, $1 or more, each $1 that you donate will be put into a raffle.
Correct.
An entry, $1 an entry. If you donate 10, you get 10 entries.
Yep.
At the end of the month, we will draw.
And the winner gets a free Pro Wrestling Throwdown t-shirt this month.
Yes.
But we've only got a few weeks left, so make sure if you want entered in the contest, make sure you're donating. The minimum's $1. There is no maximum. Every cent of that also doesn't get cut to the website. Every cent of that comes to us, and all of that money gets put back in the show. We're not doing this to take a salary. We've all got jobs. We all make our own money. It is strictly for us to upgrade the show, get more equipment, expand what we're able to do already with our limited budget.
More merchandise will be coming. Each month we will do this, and a new merchandise item will be up for.
We've got cups, coffee mugs, those what are they called? The cold cups? Tumblers, thank you. Tumblers, backpacks, yoga pants, all kinds of shit.
Toddler clothes, little boy and little girl shirts.
Yeah.
We have magnets, journals.
Yeah, we got all kinds of cool shit.
We have all kinds of fun stuff.
This month is going to be a t-shirt, but if you donate, your name gets entered in. We'll do the raffle here live at the end of the month. Check us out.
Backpack made by Champion Sports.
Hell yeah, baby. Also,
all kinds of fun stuff.
Just to recap, because we do have some new followers, or some new people in the chat. Over the rest of the summer, for the next 3 months, some of our Sunday schedule is going to change because of an obligation that I have to one of our local theater companies. That's what I do outside of this. So I'm making money. Sorry, y'all. So follow all of our social medias so you know when the shows are going to be live. So if you don't want to miss it. For instance, next week the schedule we may end up starting later. There are going to be some Sundays we start really late. There could be some Sundays where we start right at noon and cut out early. So make sure you're following so you guys know what our schedule is going to be.
Where can they follow us at? You
can find us at facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. You can follow us at Pro Wrestling TD on Twitter. You can send us an email at prowrestlingthrowdown@gmail.com. You can follow us on TikTok at Pro Wrestling Throwdown 1. You can also look for updates on streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown.
Also, coming soon, already
ProWrestlingThrowdown.com, where we will have our own website and we'll be able to link tree all of our socials. And from there, we'll be able to do host stuff where we can submit old videos that'll play on repeat, blah, blah, blah. All kinds of cool shit. So be sure to check all that. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, smash it. And thank you all for joining us. Why aren't there... Hey, boy! Nice.
You can't even be mad at that.
I can't.
Be mad at that. All right, Max.
You can tell he's my kid.
Continue, my man.
Anyway, all right. on the 18th.
I'm not even going to ask what the count is because I'm losing terribly.
What is the count?
What? Just hang on. After this one. We remembered Bruiser Brody, 1946, 1988.
Don't drink, don't smoke.
And our last wrestling birthday, Big Vito.
Oh. 54.
50.
How about 58?
I got one. Holy shit.
And that leaves it at 4-1.
That's right.
Caleb's lead.
That's right, bitch.
Well, we got a good list of
Yeah, we got some celebrity birthdays.
But no clean sweep.
Nice.
And this is
No
where the
clean
fun
sweep.
stuff comes in. Luke, if you missed this one, there's
Hold on
something-
1 second.
Breaking news.
Saber just called Denningson out. You guys are the best. Thanks for the shout out. Also, Jay White and the new champ swag saying essentially made AEW because he beat Omega is genius. So that's what
That's
John
what
was
John was
referencing.
talking about. Okay.
We did cover Jay White winning the
title.
IWGP title and what he had to say about Adam Page. I didn't see the comments he made about AEW. However, he makes a valid argument, but Omega, I'm sorry, I have to.
Yeah.
Omega leaving NJPW at the time he did is what is currently making Jay White the top guy. When Omega left, Jay White was immediately moved in his spot just to cover for their creative. That's why he got a second IWGP World title reign. That's why it also ended so abruptly. While Jay White is the top dog and the leader of the Bullet Club, he's also working the transpromotional thing with Impact. Can't hate the guy's hustle. He's also signed to AEW in some increment. That statement, while a great promo, is not the case. The guy who made AEW point blank was Chris Jericho.
Yes.
There is no other argument. Yes, Cody. Yes, Moxley. Yes, all those guys. Blah, blah, blah. Chris Jericho is what made AEW a success.
He's the dude that chose to go to the promised land rather than stay where he was. Okay, where is Wyatt going?
No fucking clue.
Whoever has the most money.
Whoever's going to pay him as close to what he wants.
Yeah. And that is the rumor. The reason he hasn't joined anywhere is because no one has offered enough money.
Because he wants to make what he was making at the WWE, or at least close to before he
Oh,
left.
before I forget. If you do decide to donate and get part of the contest, there is a message where you donate. Leave your name so
Yes.
we know who donated and how much they donated. So that way we know how many entries you get into the contest.
Is it possible we see Cena before the 27th? No.
John Cena Appreciation Night is the 28th. That's when you'll see John Cena. And I wouldn't bet if it's not a pre-tape and he isn't there live.
I don't know. I think if they do that, Cena will show up. It's not The Rock. He'll show up.
Well, that's true. He might show up. Might. Because
All
he, unlike The Rock, is filming.
And the other thing, too, though, like he just did the incredible story. We didn't talk about this, but we have
No
to.
drink, no smoke.
The incredible story that came out, there was a young man with Down syndrome. I believe it was Down syndrome. And his mother, who escaped the Ukraine.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up.
And his
Hold on.
mother...
Rob Page says Cena may appear at the pay-per-view the day before. There is no pay-per-view for the WWE the day before Cena Appreciation Day. The next WWE pay-per-view is July 2nd.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there.
Anyway, the incredible story came out that this the young man in the Ukraine was a massive American wrestling fan and a huge John Cena fan. His mother kept telling him, when we get to America, we'll do everything we can to get you to meet John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena caught wind of that story, and literally, I think the day or the day after they landed in America, John Cena flew himself personally to meet the kid. If that doesn't say that John Cena isn't committed to his wrestling fans, there's no. If they're doing a John Cena Appreciation Day on Monday Night Raw, John Cena will be.
They mentioned it on, it was either Raw or SmackDown, I don't remember, but they didn't cover it fully. They didn't mention that John Cena did that on his dime.
This kid fled the country, a war-torn country, on the premise that he might be able to meet John Cena. That was what his mom kept telling him just to keep him going. And when they got here, this is kind of making me emotional.
Yeah.
When they got here, John Cena got wind of that story and said, of course, I'm meeting that fucking kid. And if that doesn't say that dude doesn't care about his fans or get back to his fans, goddamn.
The story on wherever it was with WWE didn't tell enough. Find the rest of it. He spent hours with that kid.
Yeah. We got a question here. I know it's sad to mention him, but do you think Brody Lee would have been world champ and him on the AEW roster now would be so good? I miss him. Yes. I do think Brody Lee would have been world champion.
I think
by now, yeah.
I think he would have been world champion
If
in
not-
a few months.
If not, he would have been a heavy contender in the main title picture for a long time.
The Dark Order would have been taken a whole lot more serious then, too. I mean, you have to make it a parody because the head is gone.
Yeah.
And rest in peace, Brody Lee, because Luke Harper is one of
the most beloved guys in the wrestling business.
Exactly.
Max?
All right. Celebrity birthdays. Today, we have 2 today. Luke, if you miss this, something seriously.
It's all right, Rob. I wasn't throwing that any shade at you, my man. I was just letting you know.
Yep.
We have Jason Muse and Dave Franco.
Muse! Muse is 48.
Muse is... Shit. He's older than people think he is. 50.
He is 48 years old.
Damn.
Today. Luke. Damn.
He looks a lot older due to the drug use.
I
What
don't
can
even
say?
care if you come from behind and beat me.
You beat me with
You're
Kevin
goddamn
Smith.
right I beat you with Kevin Smith,
But he's
motherfucker.
soft and woman. He's soft and woman.
He is very sweet womanly.
I don't want to do this anymore. Oh,
Tell your
it's
friend.
weird. When you guys call Muse, you guys have to go online. When I want to call Muse, I just go, Muse!
Well, sometimes it doesn't work. Let's try it again.
And also, Dave Franco. The little
Franco.
Young Franco, 35.
36.
How about 37?
Oh, nice.
I got another
You
one.
got another one. You still miss Muse, you fuck.
Go in the
35
bathroom
too.
for that.
On the 13th, we have Captain America, Chris Evans.
Chris Evans is in his 40s. I know that.
44.
That's what I was thinking. I'm going to say 44 too. If we tie, it's fine.
Captain America will be 41 tomorrow.
Oh, we both got it wrong. Wow.
More birthdays tomorrow.
Might be your captain.
Who's your
My captain's Captain Jack Sparrow.
Dolph
Say it.
Lundgren?
Yeah, that's right.
That is my son, also tandem streaming from his stream. No stream? Okay. Go back to bed. Grounded.
Cut your hair.
Cut your-
As I say with long ass.
Please
Crazy
cut your hair,
hair.
son.
Also
Please
on
cut
the
your hair.
13th, we have Malcolm McDowell. Now, for people out there that don't know,
One of the best tailored British actors of our time. If you don't know his name, I'll go through a couple of his Rolodex. Number one, his most predominant American roles were featured in the Halloween remake when he played Dr. Loomis. He was also the original millionaire bad guy on the first season of Heroes. Outside of that, Malcolm McDowell has a storied British theater acting career. He was considered for several roles that he got passed up on. Specifically speaking, he was supposed to be. He was considered heavily for the head of the Senate in Gladiator back in whatever year it came out, but he could not get out for the scheduling. He's done a bunch of American films. He's incredible. He's got such a phenomenal stage presence. You're grounded, Jordan. I'm gonna say he is in his 60s. That's my guess. I'm going to say conservatively 64.
I'm going to go a little older, and I'm going to say 65.
how about 79?
I know that one.
The point, Luke.
That makes sense. Him, McKellen, Patrick Stewart.
I didn't think he was that old.
I
Wow.
remember him from a fantastic movie when I was a kid. He played Merlin in a movie called Kids of the Round
Yeah,
Table.
buddy.
Wouldn't fly today, probably. Y'all think it's stupid.
Probably not.
But, we're old. And
Unfortunately, my man, so do I.
all right.
Not a
Luke.
sponsor.
Also on the 13th, we have Tim Allen.
Yes. Fraley, we will get to this question here in just a second.
Yes.
Tim Allen's older. He's also a narc.
His also real name's Tim Dick.
Yeah, because he's a narc. Got to be in his early 7. I'm going to say 70.
I'm going to say
That's what I'm
69.
going to say Tim Allen's
How about Tim Allen will be 69 years
at. Nice.
old.
Home Improvement goes without saying. The voice of Buzz Lightyear, Toy Story. Basically all the cool shit about the 90s.
Okay, first off, I'm going to go to this one first. And why is Dave Meltzer always hating on my dad, Jim Cornette? Because Dave Meltzer is a worthless fuck.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay. May I? I need permission.
I don't know, Max, May?
May I?
Go for it.
1 second.
Here we go.
Time for one of them classic Caleb meltdowns. Go for it.
Jim Cornette and Dave Meltzer at a time were actually very good friends. First of all, for anybody who thinks about Dave Meltzer's rating system, he stole that from Cornette and Weasel Dooley. That's a real fucking thing. Dooley and Cornette started rating matches as a rib at one point in time, and then when Meltzer bought the American publishing for Pro Wrestling for Pro Wrestling Insider, that's when he started rating matches. And up to a period of time, Meltzer's ratings were actually relatively on par for what we all think. Conceivable, right? Agreeable, correct?
Correct.
And then the motherfucker lost the plot. He started taking money from AEW, which I don't know if that's true, but it's probably true. He rated a fucking 5-star match to that bullshit fucking garage street fight that the Best Friends and whoever the hell else they had it with him on AEW TV last year. And Kurt Angle still hasn't had a 5-star fucking rating from Dave Meltzer. Also, Meltzer lives in Cornette's head because he knows Cornette is right. Meltzer himself went on to say that Cornette knows nothing about wrestling. Know nothing about wrestling in today's booking when he was voted Best Booker of the Year 3 consecutive fucking years by Meltzer's readers and his fucking writers. It also goes without fucking saying that Cornette, when AEW was initially started, Cornette was the first fucking person Tony Khan wanted to bring on staff, and Cornette said no, because he didn't want to work with Kenny Omega. Meltzer is a fucking tool. He's lost the plot, and Cornette lives in his head because Cornette has an extended network of over 2 million followers, considering his podcast, his YouTube, and all of the other endorsement programs that he works on, and he still calls every fucking thing about AEW correctly. He told everybody what stars they needed, and what happened? They brought them in. He told them how they needed to change their booking. And what happened? He changed it. They listened to Cornette, even though people don't like Cornette, and Cornette can be an asshole. I'm the biggest Cornette fan in the fucking world, but he can be an asshole. I completely agree. But Meltzer hates Cornette because Meltzer knows Cornette is right. And also, Cornette's the only guy in the business right now not afraid to call him out. With the exception, of course, Eric Bischoff, who again, yeah, I am blind. Give me those. With the exception of Eric Bischoff, Meltzer hates Cornette because Meltzer's wrong. That's the fucking point.
Okay. I'm going to stop you for a second. I noticed that Janelle is now in the live chat. We would like to thank Janelle personally for your help in promoting. She was our first sponsor. Without Janelle, a lot of this also wouldn't be possible. So from us to you, thank you very much for your donation and your help. You mean a lot to not only this group, but you mean a lot to a lot of people. Thank you very much for your help.
Yes, thank you.
Janelle.
Also, Meltzer blocked me on Twitter because I told him he was wrong. I just wanted to make that clear. Fuck Dave Meltzer.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget to smash that like button. Please. Smash it.
And also, if anybody here is the son of Jim Cornette.
It's totally this guy. Totally this guy.
Don't drink, don't smoke. And fuck Dave Meltzer.
Just.
Well, speaking of people nobody gives a shit about anymore, the Olsen twins have a birthday on the 13th as well.
The Olsen
even count this as 2 points.
Okay.
First of all, I wouldn't say people don't give a shit about them. They still have like $1 billion empire with their makeup.
The Olsen twins.
They're older, obviously.
Just turned 40 years old.
Let me do some math in my head.
Don't hurt yourself.
Well, if he didn't have an aneurysm with the Jim Cornette thing, he definitely ain't gonna do it with the fucking Olsen.
You got a point there.
I may be off by 2 years. So 40 sounds right. 41.
How about the Olsen twins will be 36 years old?
Damn.
That's totally off.
See, I was off by... So, when they got their new deal with the ABC Family, they were either 11 or they were 16, and I could not remember which one it was.
Go ahead and answer that real quick. I think, yes.
Love you too, Janelle.
No, John, I think it'll continue.
The Owen Hart thing is definitely not a one-time thing. They have a deal made with the Owen Hart Foundation for quite a few years.
Yes. Fraley, yes, you did find my trigger button.
Yes.
Meltzer and I have a storied history of fucking not getting along.
Do you know what other button they can click?
They can hit that like button and that subscribe button. here on
the
YouTube.
TikTok button.
And you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown. You can follow us on Twitter at ProWrestlingTD. You can send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com. You can follow us on TikTok at ProWrestlingThrowdown1. And you can find us over at streamlabs.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown for our brand new merch store and our upcoming website at ProWrestlingThrowdown.com. Fuck Dave Meltzer.
Also, while you're on streamlabs.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown,
if you donate $1, you get entered into a raffle. This month, we're going to be raffling off a Pro Wrestling Throwdown t-shirt, which we will all autograph also, by the way. All the merch that gets one of the raffles will autograph. So make sure to donate. If you donate, you get entered in. Every dollar means a name entry. So if you donate $1, it's one entry. Donate $10, it's 10 entries. And that goes on throughout the month. So if you donate $1 a week, that's 3 entries until we go into the raffle.
and when you hit your donation, please, in the donation box message area, tell us who you are, how much you donated, and that we will keep track that way. At the end of the month, we will do a raffle, pick one lucky winner. That person gets an autographed, one-of-a-kind autographed
We'll pick on
Pro Wrestling Throwdown
the
t-shirt.
first show of the month.
First show of the month.
Well, the first show of the month, yes, but remember, we're off. Right now, you guys, we will not be doing a show the weekend of July 4th.
No.
We always take that weekend off. That's family time. That's holiday time. So we'll do a big 2-week recap when we come back. So it'll be the second weekend of July.
We'll do the
but
drawing.
We'll do the drawing. Also, how dare... Never mind. I'll let it go. Let it go.
Let it go to the 13th one more time with the lovely Kat Dennings.
36 years old.
I actually think that's right.
Where she acquired a great role in Marvel.
Oh,
Yeah.
she acquired...
A lot of things.
There's a couple roles she could acquire, too.
I want to say what I want to say, but I can't say it because it's just awful and filthy.
Because I'm that guy.
Just guess how old she is.
37. Just
How about 36 years old on the
yeah.
nose?
I
knew
that was right.
All tied up?
We're all
Now
tied
it's
up.
all tied up 5-5.
That's okay. He's still got Jason Muse wrong. So as I said before, even though
You're
he
right.
might come
You
back
should
and
have
win.
lost a point for that. You should have lost a point for that.
48
You're right.
mother.
You got to state that ahead of time. Fuck you and your
All right, let's go to the 14th.
Oh, Tommy might be getting
What?
married. Congrats.
One of
Congrats,
your
Tommy.
favorites, Caleb. Boy George.
Do you really want to hurt me?
Yes.
Don't own the rights to those lyrics. Sorry. Boy George, 74 years old.
I couldn't begin to guess, so I'm going to say 70.
How about 61?
But no point.
Let's go to the 15th. On the 15th, we'll have...
Thank you, Bethany. Full House ended in 95. And we are all... Remember the episode where Bob Saget made a big deal about turning 30?
Yep.
I always think about that episode when I turned 30, and then you have to remember that one of his teenage daughters was like 13 in that episode, which means
Right.
Bob Saget was
Ooh.
getting it when he was in his young 20s.
Yeah.
Good for Bob Saget.
Also,
Rest in peace.
Also, when we return in July off that July 4th break, be the show before my birthday.
Yep.
So big birthday celebration.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
One more year and then I'm old.
Are you?
All right, really?
Maybe we'll do a super soft edition of our show.
Ooh. Hold on 1 second. Who do you see Adam Cole facing a Forbidden Door? It'd be hilarious because he's been terrorizing the best friends in Orange, and then Okada comes and out challenges him because they're all in chaos. Okada will end up wrestling Adam Page. Adam Cole right now is also taking time off. That's not to say he won't participate at Forbidden Door, but honestly, if you have to find an opponent for Adam Cole, there's nobody better than Jay White. If you wanted to really sell the story about about the Bullet Club, how they sort of teased it with Cole and Omega, because Cole took over for Omega, Styles took over for Cole, and then Jay White took over for... No, I'm sorry. Styles started it, Cole took over for Styles, Omega took over for Cole, and then Jay White took over for Omega.
Yes.
So the best way to do that is Jay White versus Adam Cole. I have been married... I will have been married 7 years this year in September. So I've been married for 6 years plus.
Yep. Go ahead, my man.
Ready? All right, on 15th, the new Agent Smith, Neil Patrick Harris, and I just watched really awesome
No.
with him, Super Troopers.
Neil Patrick Harris
Or
is not...
Starship Troopers.
Neil Patrick Harris isn't the new Agent Smith. If you watch...
The new Agent Smith was the young guy. Remember?
Is the guy who played King George in Hamilton, whose name I can't remember. Neil Patrick Harris is a completely separate program. Just wanted to clarify.
He's the new bad guy, but he wasn't
Yeah,
Agent.
but he's not Agent
I'm
Smith.
I'll rewatch it. Anyway, NPH, Neil Patrick Harris.
God, he's got to be in his 50s,
Don't
right?
never let him borrow your car.
That's true.
If
That's-
you know, you know.
Doogie Howser.
Yes, for sure.
It's got to be in his 50s, right?
55.
56?
How about 49?
Oh, so he is
Really?
getting closer to...
He'll be 49 years
Wow.
old. We got 5 left.
All right. And we're still tied, right?
And it's tied at 5 each.
Right.
All right. Also on the 15th, we have...
I fucking love Jimmy Wang Yang. Friendly Fear.
Hell yeah.
Fucking loved the Asian redneck. People forget that he was part of a fucking prominent tag team in WCW.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
In the young,
I loved him. I thought he was great.
incredible.
We have James Belushi.
Also, go fuck yourself. I do not look like Boy George. Too fat to be.
That's it.
Go fuck yourself. Fuck you and
Hold
fuck
on
Dave
just a
Meltzer.
second. John, for stuff like that, contact us on Facebook. It's
Yeah, man,
not
that's not
for,
the time for this.
It's not for this chat.
Anyway, James Belushi, he's up there.
According to Jim.
Isn't he the older brother, or is he the younger brother?
Is the younger
Younger brother.
Younger
of the
brother.
two.
Okay, so John Belushi he'd be up there with Aykroyd right now, if he was still alive. So James
I think he
Belushi's
might have been slightly younger.
a little younger, but he'd be up there in the 70s range. So I'll say Jim Belushi's 64.
I'm gonna
Conservative?
go 63.
He will be 68.
68. I got that one.
Yeah, you did.
And I
Yes, the
believe-
Young Dragons. Love it.
I believe John died when he was 30.
Yeah.
4-ish.
Rob, just for you, I will do
Yeah.
that at the end of the show, since you asked, but I'll do it at the end.
All right. On 15th, we have 2 more. We have Helen Hunt from Twister.
One of the best American actresses of our time.
Oh, hell yeah.
48
Uh,
years
yeah.
old.
I know that people think about Twister, but what about her role in What Women Want with Mel Gibson?
Uh-huh.
One of my favorite movies. Clearly.
We all have that
I
power.
wouldn't say my favorite. Well done, though.
Well done. Also, Marissa Tomei in What Women Want. Just Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir.
Helen Hunt.
48 years old.
Oh God, no, older. Well, since you said 48, I'll say 50.
How about 59?
So that means Bonnie Hunt's
Yeah,
70
50.
or something.
Point Caleb. And there's 1, 2, 3 left.
Yep. And I'm 2 ahead, right?
Starting with Ice Cube. I think he's all thought out by now. Probably just call him water.
50.
51.
How about 53?
Got me.
Here we go.
These are just for funsies.
Yep.
And on the 16th,
Bitch.
we have John Cho. Speaking of White Castle.
Yeah, John Cho. I would say he's a little younger than most. 45.
39.
He'll be 50 years old.
Wow.
Wow. That's even older than I thought.
The MILF guy is 50
50 years old?
Wow.
Then also
That's
on,
okay, because you're going to hate yourself when you look up how old Sean William Scott is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes,
also
I am.
on the 16th, I should put this one up there too. We will remember the one on the irreplaceable Tupac.
Yes. Tupac Shakur was a lyricist that was taken way before his time. He not only was a lyricist, he was a poet.
Yeah. So young, man.
Also was the kickoff of the height and escalation of the West Coast East Coast rivalry.
Yeah.
He was taken first, and then Biggie was taken second.
Literally changed the way hip hop was being portrayed in the media. Not like its acceptance across the board, but Tupac had a lot of connections with Hollywood. And at the time, Hollywood really didn't reflect a lot of what the music scene was unless you'd been in the business for a long time. But it was the rap influence of the East and West, I want to say relationship because I don't want to give it a negative connotation.
Right, right.
That really sort of changed how urban, especially in the early, mid 80s, early 90s, and even late 2000s, how urban music scene was reflected in Hollywood. Was primarily responsible because of Tupac and Biggie.
Can you name the first role Tupac played?
Oh.
You know, the first thing he ruled.
No.
First role that Tupac Shakur played was as a member of Digital Underground And it was in the Dan Aykroyd Chevy Chase movie, Nothing to
Nothing
Lose.
to lose. Goddamn, you're right.
In the courtroom scene.
Yeah.
When they rapped, he was a member of Digital
Good fucking on ya. I forgot that
First
entirely.
leading role, Poetic
Justice, yeah.
And then Above the Rim, and then,
And then
Gridlocked, and then he passed
man,
away.
Gridlock's a really underrated flick. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Really
Is that it? We done?
No, one more.
One more
Let's
birthday.
hear it.
One more, and I don't. It doesn't matter at this point.
No, it doesn't.
I believe it was Kanye West that helped this guy get his act together and really get started.
Fucking Christ.
One and only, the great Sir Paul McCartney.
Didn't he love take me down to the streets?
Yeah, Wings, you know, Wings. Love take down to the streets.
Now, you know what?
Do you want to know?
I don't think that was.
I know that's a Wings song.
Do you want to know a random thing that I know about Wings that other people might not know?
Love take down.
Wings was actually the Fraser Crane debut of the character.
Uh-huh.
Or I'm sorry, it was the debut of Fraser Crane that later went to Cheers, and then Fraser.
I love when he went from the song to the show.
Yes,
that was
he.
I was gonna say you got Wings from Red Bull.
Kelsey Grammer has a weird record of portraying the same character in the most shows. If you include Wings, Cheers, Frasier, its own show, he voiced himself as both Kelsey Grammer and Frasier in several episodes of The Simpsons and all of like the random 90s spin-offs.
Also, he was in an episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah, he holds the record of playing Fraser Crane in the most different, the most content as far as one Hollywood character being portrayed the most. I think now, obviously, you could argue that might be different with all the Marvel movies and shit. But as far as TV is concerned, yeah.
I'm going to go 79.
Stop praising him and praise Paul McCartney.
Sorry, I love
79.
Sir Paul McCartney.
75, just to go a little younger.
Sir Paul McCartney will be 80 years old.
Right on. Well, that
Okay.
The birthdays portion.
Okay, so we got a couple of questions here.
Before we get into the bullshit.
Before we get into the bullshit. Just to tailor back here. Rob, I'll promo that at the end since you asked. Fairly Fear. Oh, yeah, I forgot. What do you think about Tony Khan's freakout session during the CM Punk after Scrum interview about Eric Bischoff saying Punk's not a draw? So, obviously, you wouldn't see Vince doing that. You wouldn't see Vince in 96 or 97 or 98 defending Bret Hart or defending Stone Cold, right? But Tony Khan has a non-corporate investment into his company. Tony Khan was the only guy who was able to offer CM Punk enough money to get back in the wrestling business. Of course, Tony Khan's excited about it. Tony Khan's also a statistics guy. Every wrestler who's ever worked with him knows that Tony Khan is a genuine wrestling savant.
Yes.
As much as he and I know collectively between the two of us about wrestling information, Tony Khan still probably dwarfs us by a lot. Of course he got excited. He brought in CM Punk. CM Punk has done record... Now, the disparity is this. Punk has done record numbers for AEW. Has he done record numbers for wrestling? No. But look at the lull in the time between the Attitude Era and today.
Yeah.
Now, if it were 97 and someone sat Vince McMahon down and said, oh, do you think Stone Cold's making you enough money? Vince might get excited. Vince could say, fuck yes. Are you kidding me? He's making me more money right now than Hulk Hogan made me.
Yeah.
Right? Tony Khan freaking out. Yes, it looks shitty because he's a corporate entity, but if you look at him as a fan and as an investor, why the fuck wouldn't you get excited about your brand and the guy who makes your brand the biggest the brand's ever been?
Well, look at Roman Reigns right now. The WWE puts everything into Roman Reigns.
Exactly. So while I think it was a little off-putting for the casual viewer, of course he got excited. He's a money mark. That's not a fucking insult, by the way. If a lot of billionaires invested in the wrestling business, the professional wrestling landscape would change altogether. But as far as fucking Tony Khan getting excited and questioning Eric Bischoff's comments, Bischoff was wrong. On the contents that Bischoff said that he's the worst return in pro wrestling. That's not true.
I don't agree with that.
That's not true. Even on paper, whether or not you agree or disagree, you're wrong if you disagree. He's done record numbers for their company.
He was
out
the
of pocket
he was
for
the
Tony
number
Khan.
one selling T-shirt in 24 hours.
He's the number one drawing per rating per hour for AEW. He has been responsible for 4 out of their last 5 highest grossing pay-per-views, 4 which are the only 4 he's been involved with. He makes the most money, the most merchandise, draws the most eyes. He's the best fiscal investment ever made for AEW. That's not me kissing Tony Khan's ass. That's a fact. That's on paper. So for Bischoff to be like he's the worst return, by the way, Bischoff not only managed to kill the most profitable period wrestling company period ever period in history in WCW prior to WWE going public, which is also a fact. He managed to kill the only competition WWE had. Point blank period as a fact after WCW went out of business. Bischoff was wrong. He's jaded. And yes, Bischoff does have a granular understanding of how business works, especially in the TV market. A lot of guys don't know this. Bischoff still makes money today working in television as a producer. And he produces all kinds of shit for ABC, for Fox, for literally, they got the Fox deal with the WWE on the premise that Bischoff was going to be involved. So I'm not saying Bischoff doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to TV parameters. But on profit perspective, CM Punk has made AEW more money than AEW's ever made. So in that context, Bischoff's wrong.
Also, dream car, one that runs.
1967 Shelby Mustang GT500, also known as
Eleanor. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, give me some, Big Bad.
Sitting on my dresser right underneath my TV.
1970 Chevelle SS454 LS6. The absolute greatest engineering of a muscle car in the fucking history.
Also, 71 Chevy Nova.
67 Chevy Impala also, just because.
What does he know? He's been gone for how long? Eric Bischoff has forgotten more about the wrestling business than most people know.
As I said just now, Eric Bischoff still makes money in television. Eric Bischoff revolutionized the wrestling business with the NWO. To discount his experience is a lot like Meltzer discounting Cornette's. You cannot discount it. Anybody can say, oh, that doesn't work today. Bullshit. Bullshit, and this is why. WCW was at its most profitable era pre-Eric Bischoff in 1988. Literally ran roughshod over the territories. This was still during territory time. So you were still working local markets, you were still working some syndicated national TV, but you still had 22 major competitors in your market. When Eric Bischoff got there, they were losing money in 1989. He stabilized their ratings and stabilized their product in 1990. And by 96, they were making more money hand over fist for Turner than any other wrestling company. The reason WCW died out is strictly because of the Turner acquisition after Turner's divorce. That's it. That's what happened.
Welcome, Rob Leach.
If they had had some investment that tailored to the network profits that kept WCW in business, WCW not only would have not gone out of it, you can argue the ratings and the bullshit. Either way, they'd still be in business today. Would they be the number one company? Maybe, maybe not. If they'd assigned John Cena in 2004 instead of the WWE, that conversation could have changed. So that's an ill point. Eric Bischoff took the company from when it was losing the most money ever, losing $10 billion a year, to the most profitable. And also, WCW wasn't losing Turner any money. That whole statistic when they say how, they were making $160 million, but they were losing $10 million. No, they weren't. Turner was losing $10 million a year.
I didn't say I was out. I said that package was empty. There's a difference.
So the argument that Bischoff doesn't know what he's talking about is null and void. Also, my previous statement about his work in TNA, let's be clear. Spike TV brought Eric Bischoff onto television. Eric Bischoff also didn't influence any creative that didn't have anything to do with Hulk Hogan during TNA. The reason he lost is because of the reason that people blame him and Hogan is because of the stigma from WCW. But once again, if WCW had been a singular entity away from Turner during the acquisition and had been able to acquire the rights that they wanted to in Vegas and FX after the closing, which, by the way, Vince kind of fucked him on that deal because he literally bought them last minute while they were still negotiating, but still got off on antitrust rules. WCW would be premiering 2 shows a week on FX, primetime network TV, not public syndicated television, still today, and Bischoff would still be one of the top promoters in the world. That being said, I said all of that to ensure that people understood that Bischoff does know what he's talking about. On this particular instance of CM Punk, that's what made Bischoff wrong.
If anyone knows about excuses, it's you, Rob.
Fuck with me, boy. Punk is the most profitable acquisition. Yes, Already said that, Rob. Where were you?
Welcome, Rob, by the way. All right, Maximus.
All right, before we do that, I need you guys to vamp because I have to use a restroom.
That's fine.
Vamp, tweet the socials, and then I'll be right back.
As of today, you can join us in new places. We'll get to the old
Get
stuff.
the merch!
You can find us at Pro Wrestling.
It's all about the merch.
Pro Wrestling TD on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. You can find us also on TikTok now at Pro Wrestling Throwdown 1, as well as streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown, which is our new merch store. You can get in on the monthly contest by going onto the page and donating as low as $1. Each dollar that you donate will be one entry into the contest that will be pulled second week of July for a one-of-a-kind autographed Pro Wrestling Throwdown t-shirt. When you donate, please put your name in the donation box and how much you donated, so that way we know how many entries to put you in.
At the end of the month, we will put your name in a hat, so to speak, and we will pick...
We have a wheel.
Wheel?
We can find a wheel of some sort
Yeah,
or something.
You know what? I bet we can.
Also, we now have acquired ProWrestlingThrowdown.com, which you will be able to is a work in progress. You'll be able to watch this stream.
What about the merch?
Shill the merch, Caleb.
Show the merch!
There'll be more content, more merchandise on the store in the following weeks to come.
Streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown for all your Pro Wrestling Throwdown merch needs. And also, if you donate, you get entered into a raffle for a free Pro Wrestling t-shirt at the end of the month. Every month, we're going to change it up. We've got coolers, we've got koozies, we got backpacks, we got your mama's biscuits. We don't have your mama's biscuits.
No. Even
however,
though if you want to
check it
send the recipe, you can send that to ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com.
Welcome to the stream, Nightmare.
Also, would like to point out that if anyone's looking for
Don't drink, don't smoke.
a look to your podcast or your YouTube
Check out
content,
our newest sponsor. The guys who made this entire thing possible is R&R Digital Studio. Their mission is to completely accentuate all of these small-time creators. We're actually going to have to get them like a draft of a statement that I can read every week. Either way, their biggest thing is to help small-time creators have a brand new look, a brand new professional look. You guys have seen all of our 460 videos before today have looked the same way. This is our brand new setup. All in all, thanks to R&R Digital Studios, our newest sponsor. Check them out. And they're going to have social media and stuff coming up very soon.
All right, and now we've done the birthdays.
Now it's time
do
for
some
the bullshit.
Maximus, take this away.
All right. So we are going to go through some wrestlers that have gone to Hollywood, or that have gone on to make films. We're going to talk about specifically
These 5 today.
who has done this the best out of these 5 just
Yeah.
today, and these specific roles as well. We have we have the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and one of maybe his only roles. I'm not sure if anybody
That I
else
can
knows.
remember. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
But Bonesaw
I'm
McGraw,
sure I am, but I can't. I don't know of another one.
Bonesaw McGraw as a featured character in the original Spider-Man starring Tobey Maguire in 2000.
Yes.
Everyone can still quote it. Bonesaw is free. I got you for 3
He's still
minutes.
basically the Macho Man.
Yes, he's absolutely still. He's the Macho Man playing another guy playing the Macho Man.
Exactly.
How good.
All right, that's number 1.
Also, worth referencing that that's the first movie in which Spider-Man was ever
These are
homophobic.
not necessarily in any order. We're not picking. We're going to go through them, and
Yep.
then we're going to pick who did it best.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, we have Hulk Hogan. What movie is that from?
That movie specifically is from Rocky
Rocky
3.
3.
What's his name?
Thunderlips.
Thunderlips.
Also,
that's right.
Suburban Commando.
Three Ninjas.
Three
Mr.
Ninjas.
Nanny.
Mr.
Mr.
Nanny.
Nanny.
Yeah. A cool thing about this movie specifically,
Thunder in Paradise.
so Stallone has always been very pro wrestler.
Attack on Devil's Mountain.
Stallone would specifically book and hire pro wrestlers to do stunts on his films. And during the heyday of the Stallone flicks, but also Hogan was still in prominence. And Hogan playing Thunderlips, if you watch the movie, they kayfabed pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Hogan went in there, slammed him, worked his gimmick the whole time, was a massive heel or whatever, but they kayfabed the business, which is the thing that I appreciate about it just the fucking most.
Well, and that's because Sylvester Stallone was such a huge wrestling
fan. Not only a wrestling fan, respected professional wrestling, which we'll talk about when we get into one of our next ones. I got another story about that.
All right.
That's number 2. Number 3?
Roddy Piper, the father of Ronda Rousey.
First of all, not the father of Ronda Rousey. Second of all, the first mainstream professional wrestler to have a SAG card.
Now, what movie is this from?
They Live.
Of course. The greatest John Carpenter movie of all time.
So, real quick, because I'm an actor, let me give you guys a little bit of information. Once you get a SAG card, you have SAG health insurance forever. That's the Screen Actors Guild. So, at this period of time, this was directly after Hogan stooged to Vince that Ace Ventura, Jesse Ventura, and the rest of the boys wanted to unionize, right? So Piper then gets his SAG card, which means he's already protected by a union. That union provides health insurance, pay benefits, unemployment, all kinds of stuff. Roddy Piper was the first guy in wrestling to belong to a union that outside of like day jobs, because there were tons of wrestlers in the 80s who were like steel workers that worked in unions and stuff that had those benefits. He's the first guy who didn't have a working benefits package through the WWE that was part of a union.
Fairly fair. Thunderlips is more over than Hope.
You goddamn right. Well, Thunderlips doesn't use the N-word.
Maybe.
We got who's next here? We have, of course, Andre the fucking Giant.
Can I just put one quick pin? Can we do a follow-up segment about wrestlers, or about actors who become wrestlers?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
yes,
let's make sure we do a segment on that because there's a lot to be talked about there too.
Okay.
Andre the Giant, in arguably one of the greatest movies ever made. Princess Bride, one of my favorites. And this was actually at during the period of Andre's decline in health.
They actually had to attach the actress
to a rig. It's a line trestle to be lowered into his arms because he wasn't physically strong enough to hold her up.
Also, story before we go on to the next one, there is a legendary story of Andre the Giant passing wind on the set that cleared the set for almost an entire day.
Well, 16 seconds
when he was done, the director goes, "Andre, are you okay?" And Andre goes, "I am now, boss." One of the best. Also, Ben Savage talks about getting to meet Andre the Giant and how he was a big wrestling fan in the 80s and how he was so like nice to everybody and wasn't intimidating at all. They said that like at one point when he was in the bed reading the book, that Andre came and like sat down in the little chair next to him and just talked to him because Ben Savage was a big wrestling fan. Of course, it was the 80s.
Fred
Savage, sorry. And so Andre was like, "Let's talk about wrestling," and just sat with him in that little baby chair on the set.
Give the line, Fairly Fair. Give the line.
Prepare to die.
My name is Njpw Montoya. Killed my father.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
There you go.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Fantastic movie. Yeah, who we got next?
We got last one. You can tell me who that is.
That's Terry Funk.
That's Terry Funk. That's Double Cross Ranch.
The absolute last journeyman of professional wrestling from the NWA in the old days. You can argue with me, but you don't want to.
From?
That is from Roadhouse.
That's right.
Terry Funk, and this was going to double back to the Stallone story that I had. Terry Funk did more films in his wrestling career than probably any other wrestler prior to the Rock or Cena had ever done.
Actually, he's in a lot.
And Stallone on the set of the
Expendables.
No, on the set of the movie the first movie that Stallone had Terry Funk on. Was it Over the Top?
Yes.
Over the Top.
So a bunch of stunt guys, stunt actors who the Stunt Actors Guild is probably the most dominant fucking union in LA, and I don't have time to explain all that. Either way, a bunch of stunt actors were giving Terry Funk shit about being a wrestler. And Stallone himself walked up and said, "You know what's funny? You guys work 6 months out of the year doing this." And he was like, "Terry Funk and those guys, they do that 360 days of the year." And literally would not let the stunt actors give Terry Funk any shit. Because he's like, if you guys had to do what they did every single day, none of you would make it. None of you would make it. Literally like touted, and also was a huge Terry Funk fan, was in the audience at the 1983 Starrcade where Terry Funk wrestled in the main event against I want to say Flair, but I'm
Yes.
probably wrong.
Flair.
Either way, was in the audience specifically to see Terry Funk.
Yep.
All
Also, Fraley Fury, yes. The 300 beers in one setting for Andre, that actually happened more than once.
So to sum all this up, out of those 5,
Terry Funk.
who did it best?
Terry Funk.
Out of those specific roles.
Let me say why. Here's my argument.
Go ahead.
You can watch any movie Terry Funk was in, and everybody would automatically know that was Terry Funk. The same argument could be made for Roddy Piper, Hogan, blah, blah, blah. However, Hogan was always a featured role. Macho was a featured role in Spider-Man. Piper was a featured role. Terry Funk could just be in the movie as guy number 2, and wrestling fans would be like, oh, motherfucker, that's Terry Funk. That's why Terry Funk did it best.
I'm going to have, while
The Ron Perlman argument. Ron Perlman's in everything, but he's always, holy shit, that's Ron Perlman. Terry Funk.
under that circumstance, yes. My favorite of the 5, Roddy Piper.
See, I was going to say,
I
I say Piper, and I'll tell you why.
Say Piper.
Because out of those, is the one role, and yeah, I'll even include Andre's really, the one role that stepped outside of the wrestling.
Yes.
Yes.
Even Terry Funk,
Yeah.
usually basically played himself.
Yes,
Or a
he
bodyguard.
did. Or a bodyguard, or a grungy bad guy. Yeah.
I 100%
I can see that.
Thunderlift
1000.
was the same as basically just Hogan.
Hold on. My friend James actually wrestled Terry Funk one time when he used to wrestle. That's cool as shit. Rob Page as Terry and Mick was the OG hardcore guys. Absolutely. Fraley Fear, do you believe that Andre drank? Yes. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Not only do I believe that, yes, he did.
There's documented
Yeah.
proof.
The Park story?
No, the drinking 300 beers. in one
300
sitting.
beers. in
Oh,
one setting.
yeah. Oh, and he drank case.
I want you
by
to
the case.
I want you to consider something. You're served a beer. It's either an 8 to 12 ounce beer. And the ratio of alcohol consumed is always to size and mass. For instance, I'm a big guy. I can drink a ton of beer. Right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
I can drink a ton of whiskey. Andre the Giant, 300 beers for him over a 6-hour period, when you look at his size and how much alcohol that really takes, that's a night at the bar for most people. Maybe over the line of, yeah, he got a good drunk on, but it wasn't enough to put him down.
Think
Yeah.
about how much he had to drink on the stories of the nights that he did get.
Oh my God. I could guarantee you he could pick up a keg barehanded and just put it in his mouth.
If he went and
One-handed.
if he
Yeah,
went out to
just-
a bar, he would have to pay
Oh, yeah.
one night more than we would make a month.
Actually, Andre would get furious when the boys went out, because for those of you unaware of the culture, back in the day, the boys went out. After a show, all the boys met at the bar. Andre would get furious if people picked up the bar tab, because he came from a French poor farm town that he was making millions of dollars. To him, it was an insult. The only guy he ever let pick up a bar tab and didn't get mad about it was Hogan.
Yep.
Macho tried to sneak past one day and paid the bar bill.
I know there's a story about that.
Him, Hogan, Andre, Brutus the Beefcake, Brutus Barber Beefcake, and Brutus's Valentine all went to a bar one night and they drank. Hogan can drink a ton of beer too. Nash has gone on record and said that Hogan can drink on par with alcohol.
Players believed to be, but then it came out that he went
Flair
to the
would
bartender
water
and
down
stopped
his cocktails.
Yeah.
Flair would drink cocktails and not beer so he could
Yeah.
water them down. But Andre legitimately,
Well, or
Macho
he
Man,
drinks for everybody else.
Macho Man one night went to sneak past and pay off the tab, and Andre walked up behind him, picked Macho Man off the ground like a child, set him aside, and then paid the bar bill. The only time he ever let Hogan pick up the tab was after WrestleMania 3, when all the boys went out and Hogan won that night, and Andre legitimately was like, "You're the man now, I'll let you pay the bill." And Hogan thinks like that was a big big modicum of respect.
Understand that it is.
Well, and keep in
It's a
mind,
deal.
during Andre's work in the territories, he was still making more money than anybody,
Right.
just because of his size. And he didn't work a lot of territory dates. That's another misconception, but we'll get into that later.
Actually, he forced Lex Luger to get drunk with him one day too.
Oh, he would. Jake tells a story when they were on the road, and this was during the period when Jake was actually trying to get clean.
That's very cool, Ghostly. I didn't know that you were the one that wrestled Terry Funk. That's badass, man.
That's super fucking cool. But Andre and Jake went out, and this is during the period, it was like 87 or 88, when Jake was trying to get cleaned up. He was working out all the time. He was still doing drugs, but he wasn't hitting as hard. And Andre didn't have anyone to drink with. So Andre was like, "You're coming to the bar with me." And Jake was like, "Well, I don't know, man. I don't come to the bar with me." And Jake was like, "Well, fuck, I guess we're going to the bar."
It's like, do you want to go to the bar or are you going?
Right.
Kind of thing.
Do you want to go or are you going to go?
It's funny how they didn't show that side of Andre and Young Rock.
Agreed.
Right. Well, and the dude, it's not like he was a lot of the wrestling boys were partiers. Andre didn't do drugs.
I know. He was actually the first guy, I believe, to tell everybody not to go out and drink and stuff before show.
Well, him.
Is that right?
Him and
might have been somebody else.
No, you're correct.
Lawler would also, with the guys in Memphis, he would tell them, "You go out and have fun or whatever, but let's not get too crazy." Until Lawler started partaking. That was when Lawler was in his transition between older. But Andre would prefer guys go out and drink with him instead of being at the hotel doing drugs. Because he was like, you could sleep off a hangover.
Rob, you're playing with fire, bro. Playing with fire. All right, go ahead.
Sir?
Hold on. Let me get my book.
I'm going to ask all of the gentlemen in this room, because these gentlemen in this room have seen me at my absolute most drunk and my absolute most sober. James Luther, how long have we been best friends?
Since 2005.
All that time, James. You ever seen anybody out-drink me?
Nope.
Max Fury, how long have we been friends?
Too damn long. 2004, 5.
All that time. You ever seen anybody out-drink me?
Seen? No.
Johnny. Big Bad John.
Well,
we haven't
wrapped around a couple portions of thrones.
Hold on. That's different. Big Bad John. How long have we been friends?
A little bit now.
You ever seen anybody out-drink me? Now, that's not being said that I don't get drunk and that I haven't gotten sick, because I do. Or did. I haven't gotten sick, I think, from drinking in 10 years. That's because I pickled my liver. However, Big Dog, how much liquor does it take to put Caleb down?
I think one night we did about 9 bottles, and we were still able to walk away from the building.
I'm going to make a real quick point when anyone wants to call me a lightweight. We've been doing this show, just this show alone. This little trash can here full of bottles is everything I've managed to drink so far, and I'm not even buzzed yet.
2 hours and 17 minutes and counting.
I have made this argument with other people before, and I offer this to anybody. You want to go out with me one night, and you want to buy the drinks, and you think you can outdrink me, I'll drink all your money, and then when you're sick, I'll continue drinking your money. The only man alive who's ever outdrank me was Mr. T. And, well...
We don't talk about
we don't talk about
Mr. T. He don't pity the fool.
Never had a hangover. Neither have I.
So anyway, where can people find us at?
You can find us at facebook.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown. Follow us on Twitter at ProWrestlingTD. You can send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com. You can find us now at streamlabs.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown. Not only can you see the live stream, but you can also access our merch store. If you donate $1 on our merch store at streamlabs.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown for the rest of the month of June, your $1 entry will be entered into a raffle in which you'll be capable of winning a free t-shirt this month that we will all autograph and ship to you. We'll cover the shipping, everything. Make sure you donate. All of that money does not come to us. It goes directly into the infrastructure of the show. Speaking of the infrastructure of the show, check out the guys over at R&R Digital Studios. They're the ones who've updated this whole deal. They're the reasons we have the graphics, the new layout, everything.
Also, if you for every $1 you donate is an entry.
Mm-hmm.
You donate $10, 10 entries. $5, 5 entries.
You're on,
so
Rob.
on and so forth.
Rob said he's buying next time. Make sure you pay your rent first.
The closing point,
Next.
I believe it was Friday, was the 25th anniversary of the Supermarket Raw with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Booker T.
So there's a really interesting thing that leads to that. It's not the booking of that, but on the original production of Shotgun Saturday Night, Vince would book things in random places and have the boys go out. Triple H and Stone Cold did one in the mall.
Yeah.
Where Triple H pile drove Stone Cold on an escalator.
No, that was Shotgun Saturday Night. That was Undertaker and Triple H.
Undertaker and Triple H.
It was a tombstone
on the escalator and he rode away.
Yeah.
So Vince's big thing was, let's do this in public. And Vince would sometimes pay for the after effect and sometimes not. But the inspiration of the Supermarket Brawl came off of Vince's whole thing of like, let's do wrestling everywhere.
Yeah.
And they did it in malls. They did it in parking lots.
Bars.
They did it bars a lot. Actually, there's a bar in New York, and I forget the name of it. It's the bar that
Timmy White
owned, where they would regularly go in and trash the
Brothers
bar.
Keeper.
And then Vince would pay to have the bar renovated. Like, legitimately, he would let those guys go in there and kill the fucking place. Tear down walls, pool tables, you
Did
name
it
it.
on pay-per-view a couple times.
And then Vince would be like, okay, well, whatever the damages are, let us know. And Tim White got to write up on his taxes for like 10 years, all of the remodels, based off of Vince's fucking, hey, we're in New York, we need a bar shot. And Tim White would be like, do it at my bar. We need new pool tables. And Vince would be like, all right. And Vince would give the guys directives because Tim White would give him like, because Vince, at one point in time, Vince did care about the boys. And Tim White worked for them so long, Vince would go to him and be like, what do you need new? And he'd be like, I need a new jukebox. So we'd go like Billy Gunn and be like, hey, I need you to throw Farouk through the jukebox. Okay. Off he goes. And then a brand new jukebox to be delivered. Tim White literally renovated his bar for 10 years.
That bar's name was the Brothers Keeper.
They did that with a cafe in hold on, Connecticut, where they did the breakfast. They had some fight at a cafe, and I can't remember who it was with, but either way, Vince did the same thing. He was like, guys at the tables.
How about the first episode of Raw, Howard Finkel's brand new car? Brand new car.
Well, they did that as a rib.
He got a new car.
He got a brand new car, but they did that as a rib, and they were holding out.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan put Shawn Michaels through his brand new windshield.
Not only did he get a brand new car after, so they did the windshield gimmick, and then Finkel would be like, well, it's just not right or whatever. Basically, Vince had paid to have the repair, and then Finkel would be like, oh, well, this isn't working. And it came to Finkel's wife going, hey, knock it the fuck off.
Yep.
And so Finkel's wife wrote Vince and was like, there's nothing wrong with that car. Stop paying for it. And Vince's gratitude just bought him a brand new one anyway. But he renovated Finkel's new convertible, I think, like 6 times before he finally was just like, yep. I'm just going to buy you a new car.
Yeah, that I don't know. The him coming out of the fucking milk.
I'm just kidding, Rob.
Dumping the milk on his face. Got milk book? Stands out in my mind also at the end when he's on the fucking checkout line. He goes, what is it? Clean up in aisle 7, jackass.
Outstanding.
Well, is that the last of our bullshit?
That's all I got.
I believe so. Real quick, Rob wanted me to promo the shows I've got coming up.
Okay.
If that's okay with y'all, I'll do that. You can find me at the Stage Company at the last weekend of June and the first weekend of July. The Stage Company is at the Varsity Theater in Carbondale as the Laramie Project 10 years later. I'll do a quick recap of this so people know what it is. Matthew Shepard was a homosexual guy who was murdered in the late 90s. They wrote an initial play about it called The Laramie Project. The Laramie Project 10 years later takes place 10 years after the fact with a number of interviews and scene changes for the show. I am fortunate enough to have been cast, and I'm playing both of the men who were the murderers of Matthew Shepard. I won't get into the history, the detail, blah, blah, blah. We do that all the show.
The people may remember that mostly for him being tied to the property.
Tied to the fence, and the fence was taken down and redistributed.
Yes.
So you can check me out there. Also, upcoming at the end of the summer, and I don't have the dates immediately, I'm playing Claude Frollo in Skyline's production of Hunchback of Notre Dame. So please check us out there.
Imagine him playing a heel.
Playing the Hunchback.
No. Once again, I end up playing the bad guy. Don't know how that fucking worked out. So please, yeah.
Was the bad guy.
Jeez, I don't have time to explain the Hunchback of Notre Dame. No, so yes, those are my endeavors for the summer. Please, if you're local, love the support. Check us out. Support local.
If
theater.
you're not local, drive.
We've had people drive 8 hours before to see Rocky Horror. That's all I'm saying. Our shows are that good. These guys were here when they saw Jekyll and Hyde.
The show.
So yeah, please come check out both the Laramie Project 10 years later and Hunchback of Notre Dame at the end of this summer.
Also, June 30th, Quick Skating Rink in Allen, Illinois. AFU Hardcore's Choke Point. Come see the show. We've got a great lineup, a great card. Really talented professional wrestlers
man.
doing what they do, how they do it.
This show is probably one of our best booked shows yet. Luke and I will be on the commentary table, as always, giving you the voice over at IWTV. Please come and check it out. Support local wrestling. A lot of these guys in here, a lot of folks in here support Jacob Wells. Not only went to a WWE show last night, but has never missed
He missed one.
Yes,
He couldn't help it.
has missed an AFU hardcore show. Please come out. Please support. Next week, we'll start promoing that. Local wrestling is alive and well, and we are doing our best to keep it going here in Southern Illinois.
Okay, I'd like to add one more thing before we go into our final spiel, and that's on your way out, hit the like button.
Please.
Smash that like button.
Please.
The likes help us content creators know what you guys like, what you guys don't like. Leave a comment. If you're friends with people who aren't subscribers, get them to subscribe.
Yes.
We'll give you a shout out. We'll give them a shout out live right here on the broadcast. Also, you can find us at certain different places. Caleb, where would that be?
You can find us at Facebook at facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. You can follow us on Twitter at Pro Wrestling TD. You can send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown at gmail.com. You can also find us on TikTok at Pro Wrestling Throwdown 1. Find us at streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown to access our brand new merch store that we've been pimping this whole time. We're going to be expanding our social media networks as we go on. Once we get our brand new website up, we finally own the domain, ProWrestlingThrowdown.com. We'll do a link tree there where you can access all of our socials, including upcoming and debut episodes, special stuff that we're going to do specifically for the website. So when the website's up and running, please keep a lookout for that. Also, quick note before we get out of here, the Sunday schedule may occasionally change. So if you're one of our constant viewers, be sure to follow our socials so you know when we're going on. Because of my obligations to Skyline, the rest of the summer, plus this is the only summer I get with my kids. Sometimes our Sunday schedules changes. Sometimes we'll do a show on a random Saturday. It's just going to be this season will be a lot of, hey, this is when we're on. Please tune in. Please continue your support. If you've got friends who love pro wrestling, want a little bit of the banter, love what we do here, share it to your social media pages, please. Help us get those followers. Help us get those likes. Every single person that likes and subscribes expands our network, expands our affability to the rest of YouTube and the rest of all these social medias who may be as interested in what we do as you are. So all of that helps us expand and get bigger and better. We got almost 20 subscribers this previous week. I'd love for us to hit 200 by the end of the week upcoming. That we'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much for your support.
Also, remember, contest.
Yes.
If you want to help support this podcast.
Support the show. If you donate, the minimum donation is $1. For every $1, your name gets entered into a raffle. We'll do the raffle live here the second week of July for the June winter because we take July 4th weekend off.
Yes.
Every month we're going to be doing raffles for all of our merch from our new store, streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Every $1 donation is an entry. So if you donate $1, that's one entry. If you donate 10, that's 10 entries. The more you donate, the better opportunity you have to win something. And also, we don't take any of that. All of that gets put back into the infrastructure of the show. None of us draw a salary from this. This is something we do as a project, but we want it to get bigger and better, and we need that with equipment, time, investment, and that comes from you guys. And if you do donate, we'll call you. We'll do a donators list every week where we shout you out by name. We'll also promote your social medias, so you guys get a following as well.
Also, be sure to write in the donation message place your name. Yeah. So that way we know we can call you out.
Date of birth, social security number, credit card numbers, debit card numbers, email addresses, mother's maiden names, just whatever.
Money's going to go back into the show. It's also going to go into getting pro wrestling interviews with actual big name guys.
I am working on an interview. I've almost got it secured with a huge name from the Attitude Era. I'm not going to say who yet because I can't legally, but if we're able to shore up the details, you guys will have a full-on Skype interview with a genuine competitor from the Attitude Era, not live here on Pro Wrestling Throwdown.
We'll field questions in the chat box like we do
Luke
every week.
Luke is also working on another interview of his own and building us a possible theme song from a genuine charting top 100 artist, Grammy-nominated artist who has influence in the wrestling business. So we'll get into that later on when they come to fruition again. Legalities and stuff, we can't talk about it. But thank you guys for your support. Thank you for tuning in every week. Thank you for the likes, the subscriptions, everything. feel free, real quick, just to shout out our extended network, Fraley Fear on YouTube. Check out
Wrestling on Wheels.
Wrestling on Wheels with Jacob Wells. Yes, with the Z, that's important. Check out Beast Meets Heat. Check out The Joy of Pro Wrestling with Mark Ross and everybody in our extended network. Real quick, while we're waiting, you guys, at the end of every show, we get 5 questions that we're going to field out before we close out. So if you got 5 questions off the top of your dome, remember we have a bit of a lag. So the first 5 that pop up are the first 5 we're going to answer.
Also, we'll go ahead and post the Streamlabs for the donations and stuff in the chat box one more
Big
time.
Bad John's going to get after that right now while you guys are waiting.
If you don't get to it here, we'll post it on Facebook.
Yes.
We'll post it on all social medias.
Yes.
Please, guys, we appreciate you so much. It will help so much in the building of this show and the entertainment aspect. And you'll get to ask people real questions in real time.
We hold no, and also, as you can see from my Meltzer rants, we hold nothing back. No. So if you have legitimate questions you want to ask and stuff you want to know about what we think about wrestling or even like our mutual wrestling careers, ask it. We'll be honest. Just shoot us questions, shoot us comments anytime. But right now, you guys have 5 questions. The first 5 that pop up, and the first 5 we're answering.
Also, every guest that we get in the interview portion will not be in character. We don't want character-driven interviews. We're going to get the men's opinions, honest opinions, from the men who play these characters on television.
That's right. Don't drink, don't smoke.
At all.
So, 5 questions. Shoot them out. Come on, baby. I know you got it, didn't you? We got to answer 5 because that's our whole deal. Don't take your time. Just ask. Be a random thought you have about old school wrestling. What you think about new school wrestling? Who should have won here? Who should have lost here? What you guys did when this happened? Blah, blah, blah.
Why Caleb's shirt so lame and mine's so awesome? You know, things like that.
Sorry, I'm not a 13-year-old girl. I don't need to glitter my shirts.
I didn't glitter my shirt. It was bought this way. Why do you hate Meltzer? Just kidding. Not a question. Okay. Yeah, I don't want you to go into another 40-minute tirade.
No, I've answered that. He's a prick. That's why. Actually, while they're waiting on answering, I don't hate him. He sold out, man.
Just don't fucking like him. It's not that I don't hate anybody except fucking a couple.
There are lots of guys in the wrestling business who know me, and I know them in return that don't like me. Ask Austin Aries.
Oh, Joy of Pro Wrestling writes, do you think Cena could be a Money in the Bank? It's a possibility, although highly unlikely.
I'm going to say no. Outright no. His filming schedule, everything. And also, if you're bringing Cena in, he's got to be featured in a main event some way. If he's not going to win Money in the Bank, there's no reason to have him there. And if he does win Money in the Bank, you have to have a reason to have him on TV. So,
and him and Austin Theory is what they're building.
He's another one that's not going to stay around. He's too deep into Hollywood. So, anything that he does is not going to be championship.
Can you bring him in for a month and run a program? Absolutely. Can you make any money off of him being the Money in the Bank guy? No, because there's no timetable for cashing in.
They're not. Yeah. They're not.
Okay. Question 2: what is one AEW wrestler do you think would make a big impact if he went to WWE? Caleb?
2 answers come to mind always. One's MJF for the obvious reasons we laid this out last week. MJF's the hottest free agent in the business right now. Hottest free agent, the hottest agent, period. If the WWE wanted to initiate a real coup and someone that has a following now but could actually benefit more from their system than AEW's, Wardlow.
Yeah.
His size, his strength, can't talk all that well, but paired with Paul Heyman.
If you're going to put somebody on NXT, as we're counting WWE, Ethan Page. Ethan Page would be a talent and a hand for an NXT brand, and I think would be a good foil for Braun Breaker.
Yes. All right, real question. What do you think of Wardlow challenging Scorpio Sky for the AEW title? Wardlow wants a shot at the TNT title, and honestly, it's the best bet for him.
It's the Goldberg build.
It's a proving ground for him to be a singles champion. You can invest in him as a champion. Honestly, he fits all the marks as a pro wrestler.
He's Vince McMahon's 80s dreamboat.
Yeah, for real. If Wardlow right now, with all of his ability, lived 20 years earlier, the name Stone Cold probably never would have got mentioned. And I'm not saying that disparaging to Stone Cold. I'm talking about Wardlow's gifts. He's a little older, which sort of the Batista thing there. They got Batista when he was way too old because there wasn't a lot of longevity in his career. If Batista had showed up 4 years earlier, he'd been bigger than Brock Lesnar. It just didn't happen. Same argument with Wardlow. Right now, he's prime. He's still relatively young. He's big. He's massive. He's got charisma. He's got the skill. him being TNT champion is genuinely good for AEW because, number one, you can build that belt around the fact that nobody can beat him because he's a massive fucking animal, which in wrestling that still sells. And number two, if you take the belt off of him, number one, the next guy looks like a hard ass, and number two, you've got a number one contender prime for the world title.
I'd like to take this question first,
do.
if you don't mind. Do you think TNA could have been as big as the WWE, and why did it fail? Okay, yes, it could have. It very well could have. And there's a 1 and 2. There's a 1 and 2 on why it failed. 1, Vince Russo. 2, Dixie Carter. It's that simple.
So,
management.
A lot of conversations happen today in the ratings. People forget that TNA at its heyday were pulling 3 times the amount of ratings that AEW gets now. And that's back when networks had to scramble to find content. TNA was invested in by Spike. Spike lost money on TNA. Big time. TNA fronted the bill for a bunch of legends to come in because of the name value. Yes. And people can criticize the booking, but if you've got people you have to work with, we know booking. You work with what you got. Yeah, sure, TNA wants Ric Flair. Or, I'm sorry, Spike TV wants Ric Flair. Okay, we got to feature him in. Does that fit our model? No. But did Spike pay for him? Yeah, so we got to feature him in. So one is the conversation with Spike. Spike kind of pushing too hard for the older side. We talked about Hogan and Bischoff were strictly on Spike TV's payday. 100%. TNA did not lose a dime on Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, Sting, or Kevin Nash for that matter.
Yes.
Why I think they lost? Booking.
Yeah.
They had every tool feasible to be the number 2 competitor, and booking killed them. Because they had money. It wasn't like Dixie Carter's family weren't putting in money, and it's not like Spike wasn't either. It ultimately came down to what they were doing with their show. And then after the Carters sold out in the 2011 period, mind you, after like the hottest period of TNA is when they started really having other interested buyers, and that's when everything got convoluted. If the money had stayed consistent and the booking was better, AEW wouldn't be a factor right now. Ring of Honor wouldn't be a factor right now. The biggest companies in the world would be WWE and TNA. TNA also hurt themselves with their NJPW deal, how they buried Shinsuke Nakamura and Okada, who would turn around and be the biggest stars in NJPW, which satisfies your internet audience. This isn't 1980 anymore. Everybody can watch anything at the drop of a dime. TNA had that at the forefront, and then they got lost.
All right, we're gonna answer both of these real quick because we are running rather long. Do you think AEW is a threat to WWE? Not at this point, no.
The WWE could stop selling tickets for live events, could stop doing live shows, and just do syndicated television, and still wouldn't lose a dime for 2 years. AEW is not in that conversation.
Could AFU get as big as AEW?
No.
No.
Money-wise.
Money-wise, no.
It's a home-funded promotion. If we had a billionaire who came in and gave us money, absolutely. But right now, not talking booking, just talking financially, no. Could they be the biggest thing on IWTV? Yes. Yes, they could. And hopefully they will be. AEW is a threat, but it's not the threat that it would have been if Stone Cold would have left WWF in '98 to go to WCW. That would have been a big hit, huge hit.
All right, last question: do you think the All Atlantic Championship is AEW's version of the Intercontinental title?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
It's the WCW US Championship, having merits and having some presentation to it. But I think it's just an answer to have another belt on the show.
All right, we're going to shill shamelessly one more time our socials, merch store, all that.
Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Follow us on Twitter at Pro Wrestling TD. Send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com. Follow us on TikTok at Pro Wrestling Throwdown 1. Find us at streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown for our merch and a simulcast of the stream as well.
Yes.
And keep a lookout for ProWrestlingThrowdown.com, which is the domain that we now own.
Get in on the contest second week of July.
Please donate. All that money goes back into the show. We don't take a dime. Thank you all for your support. Make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe. And from us to you, keep it in the ring. Woo! All right.